Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Atari HB. How's everyone doing today? Just want to give a quick shout out and welcome everyone who's in the stream today. So let's take a look at our participants in the chat. So in order to get that, we're going to get started here. Just give me a moment. All right, give me just a moment here. All right, so let's see here who is part of the chat today. So I'm going to go ahead and do that shout out. Just going to need a little bit more information here. All right, give me just a moment. All right, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Okay. Michael Wood seeing DFR, King X, Retrap Gaming, and thank you guys so much. And The Dark Knight, welcome. Random Citizen, welcome. Glad you're able to catch a stream. King X, I'm glad you're able to catch the live stream today. We're going to be going into a couple of interesting topics today. Bear in mind, there is a little bit that does need to be taken care of, but hopefully we can go ahead and get that done today. Let's see here. Alrighty, so I'm just glad to see if we can get hopefully we catch everyone in today's stream. All right. Yeah, this looks like that's part of the stream today, but we're gonna exit that out. Hopefully we can catch everything today. Just give me a moment to fix the chat up for everyone, guys. All right, let's go here. Yeah, awesome. But yeah, guys, I hope everyone's doing good today. Just give me a moment. Just got a couple things we gotta fix up right now. Oh yeah. Great question today, DFR. I would love to answer that. So I'm just getting things a little bit settled in. So if you guys give me just a moment. Looks like the YouTube chat feature isn't working the way it should be. There we go. All right, and there looks like there'd be another browsing piece here. That just seems to be why the YouTube chat wasn't working. It wasn't really on the priority front page. So let me just make sure everything else is where it needs to be. At browser 2. Yeah, that YouTube thing, we don't need the second browser 2. You can get that out of here, and then we could go ahead. And now we should be able to see everyone's names in chat. Now, one thing I am going to do real quick is I'm going to modify the YouTube chat. I feel like people's comments aren't left up long enough for it to interact with the stream properly. So we are going to go ahead and do something like that. Give me just a minute. So I will be reading the chat just shortly. I just need to do a couple things here. All right, let's see. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and mess with these couple things. All right, let's see here. What do we want? That's not bad, but we don't want that. All right, so good. All right, good. Yep. Outlines, cool. Yep, general. Yes, I'm the Emerald King. All right, give me a minute, guys. So we'll be reading the chat shortly. And let me put my little pop up here so I can still read what you guys are saying. Hey, welcome Javier Ortega, Jade. You're here. Welcome. Estoy aquí. Bienvenido. I'm just currently working on something right now. Yes, and those will be the red. And if we have anyone coming in, we will make them a golden boy highlight. I guess we're going to do that. All right, perfect. Yep. All right, let's see. We want something nice. No, not that. Yep. Almost there. We almost got it. All right, great. That should be good. All right, and then we're gonna do this. Nope. Just want things to be legible. All right, good. I think that's pretty fair. Good colors. Yep, that's fine. We will show those. Yep, go ahead and show those. Those can be in a nice vibrant color. Good. And all right, perfect. All right, perfect. Yep. That's a good color. All right. All right. And then anyway, let's see what everyone else is doing. All right. All right. So we got, all right, so basically, before we begin, because I'm just spending time with this right here, trying to get things figured out for us, let's go ahead and jump right in. So today's topic is going to be power scaling. Details matter. And I think this is a very good topic to really discuss. I feel it's extremely important when it comes down to it. People do need to understand the importance of such, and I do believe we're going to get a lot better of an understanding as long as people are able to, kind of get an understanding of that. So when it does come to the power scaling point, I will bring it up in just a bit. That will be important. But as far as I'm aware, power scaling is definitely underlooked, and it needs to be addressed and examined a little bit more closely. So I'll talk about that in just a little bit. Let's kind of dive into that real quick, though. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, let's see. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Cool. All right, perfect. There we go. Now everyone can see. Hopefully now everyone can see the chat on stream, and so your comment will stay up a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and up the ante on the quality. There, so now you guys will be able to see the chat, you'll be able to see your screen, you'll be able to see your name. Hello, Cosmic Kai. Welcome to the stream. All right, so now that the stream has been fixed up, let's go ahead and kind of dive deeper into that. So I'm going to be playing, all right, we're probably going to need a little bit of background music. Who do I want for background music? I think I know who I want for background music. Background music. Yeah. Yeah, let's see here. Let's add some background music. Oh, it looks like Harvado's hopping on Street Fighter 6, I'm just seeing. Hopefully he's enjoying his time. Alright. Alright, let's go to media source, BG music. Alright, yeah, let's grab ourselves a nice song. Alright. Oh, that's way too freaking loud. Lower that. Yeah, that's nice. I like this song. And, you know. Yeah, that should be pretty good. Alright, how's it, guys? How's the music? Is it too loud? Yeah. All right. Yeah, so I'm just letting this kind of just rock in the background. All right. There we go. This should be good. Yeah, you guys should be able to hear that now. That music, baby. All right. All right. Start that up. All right, good. So now let's go back into what we were talking about. So today's stream, now we really getting into the welcoming party. Today's stream, we're really going to talk deeper about power scaling. Now, power scaling is a very, it's not super complex. It's not very difficult to understand. It's extremely straightforward and easy. I think what's important though is that details matter. And we're going to talk about details and why they matter into like a power scaling perspective. So first we're going to get a couple things pulled up here. So I'm going to kind of give you guys an idea. So we'll jump in here. As you guys can see, I'm right on the website, mainly on Viz. We're going to jump into that. What I'm going to do is we close this out here. Let me modify this a little bit. Yeah, let's modify this. So shorten this up so we really can get a focus on the screen we're looking at. All right. So cool. We're on the main viz. We're on the website, and we really want to understand how this power scaling system works. Because if you don't understand how it works, you're gonna have problems. So just keep that in mind. Now, I want to dive in first to really getting an understanding of it. And the only way we're going to do that is if we have an open mind. So having an open mind is one of the key essentials to any type of like scaling you're going to continue to do as you continue to do it. The reason why is because when you do power scaling, you have to remember that it's not about just finding a simple plugin or a number. It's more so about understanding what you're reading and understanding what the character is doing, why they're doing it, what effect does it have. As you may see in the thumbnail, building level matters. Because what this is going to ultimately tell us is these slight details. I feel like if you want to really become good at power scaling and really get the most accurate, you're going to have to look at these things. You see, effort matters, and we had a conversation about effort mattering. And we're going to talk a little bit about the effort matters. So how many, if you guys put some fires in the chat, if anyone was in the last stream when we talked about Raditz's leg hair. I know that sounds awkward to those who are new to the stream, but trust me, it's hilarious. So, how many people know about Raditz' leg hair? We're going to actually bring up something. I'm actually going to introduce something really interesting. I'm going to bring it to the table. And I feel like everyone who's watching the stream will benefit from knowing about this. So I'm going to put together a little image here on the other side where you guys aren't looking. And then we're going to go from there. And we're actually going to have like a deep discussion about 2 individual characters. And I feel like it's important to definitely have this discussion. Let's see how many fires we got. So we got 1 fire. So only 1 person was here so far. Hey, welcome Vegeta Scales. I'm glad to see you made it. Hey, King Absalon. What's up, man? So, all right, perfect. So we got 2 fires in the chat. So people do remember Raditz's leg hair. So we're going to talk about the significance of effort matters. So this is going to be very important. All right, so let me just, I'm gonna keep a notepad on me because I do believe we do need to have timestamps. So if anyone wants to come and watch the stream later, they can. So right at the 20-minute mark, 0 to 20 minute, filler, fixing stuff. Then from here on out, 20-minute onward, effort matters. We're getting to the main topic of effort matters. This segment is gonna go on for about like 30 plus minutes probably, because we could talk a lot about this. So let's talk about effort mattering. Let's change that so everyone here who is on stream is with the program. Let me see here. Yeah, delete this because we don't need that. Versus battle. We got the power, speed, durability, stamina, and hacks. That's fine, but we're really gonna shoot the breeze here in the conversation. Let's go to effort matters. All right, Cosmic Kai is part of that. Javier Ortega, that's hilarious. That's hilarious, bro. Yes, his leg hairs, man. Imagine. So I'm gonna bring up an interesting matchup. And I want everyone to be completely honest. I don't want no bias. I don't care if you like Dragon Ball more than the other character I'm about to bring up. I don't care. I want honest. We don't want any bias. We just want straight, flat out honesty. And that's how we're going to learn. We can't learn anything if we're dishonest with each other. And we can't learn anything if we're fighting each other about just differences on a character, because nobody benefits from that. Nobody. Doesn't matter who you are. So yeah, let's gather this image. I like this image. This image, yeah, we can take this picture, copy it. Let's see, how big is it? Oh, this picture's huge. All right, let's shrink it down. Keep the ratio going. Let's shrink it to this much. All right, copy, paste. Still a little too big for my liking. Let's shrink them down a little bit more. Cool. All right, yeah, that's about big enough. All right, cool. All right. So, yeah. All right, cool. Yep, and then let's get a little versus logo going. Cool, yeah, get that logo. I'll put it right there. Woohoo! Versus like some Street Fighter stuff, bro. All right, yeah. All right, anyway. All right, cool beans. So now we got our image. So I'm gonna upload this image, and then we're gonna all look at it together. All right, cool. All right, let's get back to the match. Get back to the main event. Okay. All right. Imagine Dragon Ball Heroes. Yeah, that's ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous, man. Hey, chat, just as a quick reminder, be sure to share this stream with some of your buddies, some of your other friends in Discords, private message your friends. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoy content like this, as we are going to try to stream at least twice a week from now on, moving forward, if we can. As you guys may see, I'm trying to upload more consistently, and I just want to do this because I want to connect with you guys more, and we can have a little bit more fun discussions and have a great time. But let's go ahead and analyze this real quickly. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use Imgar. All right, so we're gonna go here. Here's the matchup. This is the matchup we were looking at. We're gonna open this image in a new tab. Let's take a look. As you can see, cool characters, interesting battle. So, many of you guys will look at this. Many people will look at these characters, and you'd be surprised how many people actually think this matchup is in, well, the other individual's favor. You'd be surprised. So ultimately, whose favor is this battle really in? Who wins the battle? So we're gonna go ahead and do a poll. I'm gonna let it run for about 2 minutes. All right, who wins? All right. So let's go ahead and have a vote. 2 minutes straight. How high can we actually rank Goku? The Dark Knight, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know. I don't even think you can really get that much higher. Great question. So King X, I'll give you an idea because we're gonna actually explain that, but it's gonna be 2 minutes. So right now we have about, let's clear this out. This out. All right, cool. It's May. Yeah, let's let's see here. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see. Two minutes. I used to, dang, Windows 11 is dookie when it comes to like displaying time. Because you can't even like display your time anymore. I don't know why they took out such a simple feature, or they made it all complicated. Like, we used to be able to look at the little clock. Whatever. Yeah, guys, don't get Windows 11. They need to update that. No, I don't need no focus period. End session. Get out of here. All right. All right, cool. So it's been about 2 minutes. And what are the results? So out of the results, we have 10 votes. So 80 believe Raditz, 20% believes Toneri. So, all right, let's see. Okay, so let's see here. Thor's Hammer, you didn't miss much. We just beginning. And Thor's Hammer, I think you're going to like this type of stream we're talking about. We're talking about details matter, but all right. All right, so how many people could tell me why Raditz would win this fight? How many people could tell me why Toneri would win this fight? You know what I mean? Like, how does it matter? And I think it has to do with Toneri is like an end game boss in Naruto, right? But Raditz is a beginning game Dragon Ball character. And I think because the way the characters are introduced, we don't have a lot of respect for Raditz. So ultimately, this creates a level of bias, not implicit because it's not racially based, but story based. We get a little bit of bias from the characters because when we start to think, hey, this character scales to this level of power. And the only reason why we think this is because we're associating a character's strength with their coolness. We're associating, Jax Blade talks about that, and a lot of other people have talked about that. That's the problem though. People think, hey, he looks cool, so I think he is really strong. I just realized how big Radis's cranium is. This dude got a big head, bro. Alright, anyway, though. Regardless, kind of depends on your end. The Dark Knight 47 says depends on his end. Very good. Hey, what's up, 1990? What's up, 90s Dello? How you doing? Alright. Sorry, so for those of you who don't know, we're going to talk a little bit about why. So, the real reality is we're going to have to look at a video to kind of get an understanding of this. All right, so let me see what I can do here. All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna go straight to YouTube. Cool. All right, now, what are we gonna look at? We're gonna look at a specific video. All right, so first we're gonna see Toneri cuts the moon. This is gonna be important. All right, so we're gonna watch the scene real quick. So again, YouTube, just wanted to clarify, this is fair use for the purpose of educational purposes. So if we take a look at Naruto and Toneri, look at the fight. Extremely fast, considering the surface area they're covering in the moon and their auras, they're moving extremely fast. So, impressive from Naruto and Toneri. So as you guys can see, look at the impact they're causing, the damage they're causing. Very impressive. So, now we're going to skip to our favorite part. The Golden Wheel of Rebirth. Now this is important. Boom. The gravitational binding energy of the moon. So obviously Naruto was able to deal with that attack, but ultimately this is very impressive for Toneri, and I think a lot of people need to understand this. So yeah, very impressive feat. Toneri is definitely on the moon level. I'm not going to go into this whole hollow moon argument. We're not going there. We're just simply talking about why this is very impressive. So Toneri was able to cut the moon in half, and would it be casual? Well, let's pay attention. This is what I say about details matter. So before he does it, right? Let's take a look at his movements. So before he does it, so he says Golden Wheel Rebirth Explosion. So he's cutting it down. Very impressive. Cuts through the entire core. So he did that. Would it be considered casual? Well, it depends on what you consider, right? Let's take a look at casuality versus tryhard. So if we take a look at this. Yes, whatever you do. So we're going to play the audio so at least people can kind of hear it. Yes, yes. Thank you, guys. I appreciate this. This is not sponsored by these guys. Anyway, so when you watch this, look at this. Look at this. This is training. This is high intensity. Right?
Come on, 10 seconds.
So he's trying. All right? Now look at it. Which one was it? No, Mike Tyson and John Jones. Now look at this. Now this is something casual. They're playing around. I think it's important to understand the difference between this and this. This is like completely different. Now, why is this different? Because in the same way Toneri, I wouldn't say Toneri was casual, but I wouldn't say he was going super duper mega try hard. But he did intend to use a lot of effort in that attack, right? And I'm sure we can all agree. So where's the significance of this? Where are we going with this? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at similar feats. All right, so we're going to take a look at our good friend Piccolo. And then here's where we begin. So we're going to take a look at what Piccolo does. Now, that blast was so powerful. The moon's vapors and dust and sparkles from light reflecting off of the atmosphere was so powerful that Piccolo felt the impact from Earth. So the Earth actually felt the explosion of that moon. So although the moon is 380,000 kilometers away, Piccolo's attack was strong enough to where pretty much everyone could kind of see it and feel it. So that was really powerful. But what's important is let's look at the effort. So this is important because Piccolo kind of just took his hand, slight charge, boom, and then just threw his ki blast right at it. From looking at the scenes side by side, it's easy to say Piccolo was a lot more casual than Toneri. Toneri was not using 100%. I don't think Toneri was going all out in that attack. But I would say Toneri was putting in a little bit more effort than Piccolo would. So we're going to have a vote. So, we'll say this. Who had to put in more effort? I like to engage with you guys this time. So, real quick, we're going to take another 2 minutes to understand who had to put in more effort, Piccolo or Toneri. Like, based on the feats. And I will watch them back to back. You know? Everyone... Now, remember, this is all interpretive. This is why details matter, because we're all interpreting these feats. So we take a look. Let's take a look at Toneri again. Where is it? So let's take a look. Let's look at Toneri again. Because remember, this attack was intended to finish Naruto. So this attack had a little bit more effort in it. It was intended to kind of finish Naruto off. Now, Toneri could probably slice the moon into little bits if he wanted to. So he's still at the baseline of moon level. Still requires petatons of many petatons of TNT. Of power. But then there's this. Piccolo, on the other hand, he saw the moon more as a nuisance. Rather than, from what I'm getting. And you guys tell me if I'm wrong. From what I'm getting, it looks like Piccolo's seen the moon more of a nuisance rather than I'm trying to finish it off.
They need the moon.
Like, the blast, and when we look at it, Piccolo's a lot further away. So, it's not like you're taking the ki blast point blank. The ki blast isn't even point blank. The ki blast is coming here. So frame by frame, bam. He just shoots his hand. The next frame we see, what do we see here? Besides the flashing lights. Goodness gracious, stop it. It's already hit, it already looks like it's hit outside the atmosphere. Completely pulverized. The moon was possibly pulverized, but by the looks of the aftermath, it looks like it was vaporized. So Piccolo had a vaporization of the moon. So the Versus Battle Wiki isn't the end-all be-all perfect, but I still think it's important that we kind of take a closer look and kind of engage in this conversation for attack potency. So if we type in attack potency, and we look at the list, Versus Battle Wiki typically, we can use this list. They're not completely infallible. You know, they have their mistakes on profiles, but they overall have a decent idea of math.
So if we take a look at something like Moon, we go from 29.6 exatons to 433 exatons. Now, gravitational binding energy may be a factor to consider, but ultimately you still have to consider, cutting the moon in half versus, because when Toneri cut the moon, you could hear the moon slightly just separate because of how much force was in that. So it's silent first, and then you hear that vibration, and you could see it splitting completely. And in fact, it's split because right out of the hole was shooting these mini Naruto. And this crevice doesn't look like it's probably like a few hundred miles wide. So that's very impressive for Toneri to do. But at the end of the day, you probably would take it more so on the lower ends of the exatons versus the 433 exatons. So if we take something like 433 divided by something like 29, we're looking at 14.9 times. But let's use our math. Let's think about it. If I cut an orange in half, right? And if I would have cut the orange in half, or why don't I get the moon? Let's show you guys an actual moon. So I'm going to turn my camera on just real quick. Let's see if it, well, assuming it works. So yeah, I'm going to turn my camera on real quick. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take this, do this real quick. Put the camera on. Put the camera on, man. God dang it, put the camera on, bro. All right. All right, cool, whatever. Assuming the camera wants to actually work. If the camera works, then that's great. If it doesn't, then we'll figure something else out. All right, cool. But if the camera doesn't work, that's fine. Let's see if we can get it to work close up. Is it gonna work? No. Let's deactivate it. Activate it here. Will it work? No. All right, fine. Delete. Move that out the way. Deactivate. Activate. Will you work? Will it work? I wonder if it's properly plugged in. Well, I mean, it is plugged in, but I guess for some reason it's not completely working. Deactivate, activate. Is it working? Default? Hello? Camera, please? All right, we'll try another source. Deactivate, activate. Camera, hello? Are you there? All right, let's unplug it. Let's plug it back in. All right, cool. All right, cool. All right, so now what? Deactivate, activate. Nothing. God dang. All right, guys, looks like the camera wants to be a jerk right now. Well, that almost happened. So the camera wants to be a little bit stubborn today, so we might not get to see Atari's beautiful face right now. No, I'm just kidding. But be that as it may with the camera being all annoying and such, that's fine. What is important, though, to take away from this is we do need to take a look at the moon feet. So if we take cutting something in half versus, completely pulverizing it, it really puts into perspective. Now, again, when you look at the effort of Toneri and the effort of Piccolo, which, again, it's been more than 2 minutes, but I think it's time to end the poll. This is important. So we got 62% Toneri and 37% Piccolo. And good. JJ brings up a valid point. The moon is 30 Earths away from the Earth, which is great. Toneri is actually fighting and trying to kill Naruto. It makes sense for him to be putting more effort into his attacks. Random Citizen brings up a very solid point. And Toneri, it's kind of similar to Godzilla and the Kong versus Godzilla blasting a hole towards the Hollow Earth. Very good. Very good points. Now, Piccolo's 200 power level attack must have been in the high 100 zetatons. Well, I don't know about that, but I do know it could be in the small planet ranges, right? Just because of how much force it took. Now,
vaporization and pulverization are important. All right, let's take a look. So if we look up vaporization versus pulverize, how much energy does it take to pulverize Earth? Turning to ash and creating dust, which you could reduce Earth spits up anyway. So two different calcs. So these two calcs here, there's a debate whether they're vaporization or pulverization. Okay? So this is important to understand because pulverization, vaporization, those things do matter in calculations. So let's take a look. So when we have kinetic levels of energy in explosion, goodness gracious, the ads. All right, when we have pulverization and vaporization, these are important factors to consider. That's why I say details matter. The reason why these things matter is because depending on how the attack destroys something, it's very important. Fragmentation applied when the matter that was destroyed turns into a fairly large indistinguishable piece. The value is 8 joules per cubic centimeter. Okay. Then the violent fragmentation applied when matter was destroyed was turned into small but still distinguishable pieces. Pulverization applied when that was destroyed was turned to dust. We use this when we see no remains of the matter that was destroyed in the aftermath of the attack. It's 214 joules per cubic centimeter. Okay? Now, these destructive values are important because when you factor in the moon's cubic centimeters, think about how much cubic centimeters are in that. So, for example, see, cubic centimeter. Let's go cubic centimeters. So if we're taking cubic centimeters of the moon, right? You could kind of get an idea of the cubic centimeters of the moon, which is absolutely huge. So cubic miles, 5.25 billion cubic miles, divided this number gives us the moon's fit in the Earth. So you could use that. So if you do like 5.25 billion cubic miles to cubic centimeters, you get a different number. And you could kind of use this formula. Like if you take this number and, times 277, whatever that may be, just to kind of give you like an idea. Like what's it? Oh, 214, my bad. Times 214. You get like an idea of how many joules of energy. But again, I wouldn't say this is like completely accurate, but it just gives you an idea. Now, then you got melting, vaporization, applied when matter that was destroyed was vaporized during attack. Much like pulverization, we use this value when we see no remains of the matter that was destroyed in the attack. But in addition, there will be a considerable amount of visible vapor or character statements that imply vaporization, usually the latter. Atomization applied, if clearly stated, it describes the energy to separate all atoms into chemical substance. And then the subatomic. So the way this works, right, is these are important values that kind of helps you get a sense of what you're scaling or calcing. Yeah, I gotta wait for it. It's not responding right now. But as you guys can see, the reason why this is important, right, is because when you're dealing with these type of tons of TNT, it gets crazy. So like by technicality, and I'm gonna exit this page because it's being a little silly right now. And it's not responding. Okay, great, whatever. We'll refresh the page. So anyway, the basic notion of this battle is that Piccolo did something a lot more crazy than Toneri, but with just as much or less effort. The reason we know Piccolo had less effort was because Master Roshi had done something similar. If we look at Master Roshi, Master Roshi also blew up the moon. Alright. So Master Roshi blowing up the moon is important because when he blew up the moon, I'm telling you, bro, I'm not gonna keep doing these ads. I'm not getting ad blocker though. Alright, so when Master Roshi blows up the moon, the whole idea is you see the fragments there. So Master Roshi clearly I would say Master Roshi didn't vaporize it like Piccolo, but he pulverized it because it was put into very small pieces, or violent fragmentation. Okay? Usually it was one or the other. Because the amount of force he put in that, it was high. It was definitely high. So when it comes to like attack potency and the overall scale, or the calc, it's very important that we all kind of have a level of understanding of how crazy the feat was that was pulled off. Alright, let's see. Attack potency. No, not Attack on Titan. So when we kind of take a look here at the attack potency that was pulled off, leave me alone with these ads, bro. You see that what happened was the moon was destroyed very quickly. And it was like Master Roshi could even be sitting up in the upper echelons of destroying the moon. But Piccolo would be in the small planetary ranges. This is just Piccolo waving his hand. Now let's take a look at one more thing. So this is ultimately where we're coming at with the battle. So, when Raditz notices his power level, Master Roshi's power level when he blew up the moon, what was it? Alright, let's see. Kamehameha power level. So, let's take a look. What happened to Goku's power level when he added his ki into one shot? It can't be. His power is up to 924. How could someone focus all the energy? So remember, Goku's ki was about 400 plus. So it at least doubled by 2.2. So Roshi's power level is 180. Now, if Roshi's power level is 180, what? I didn't type his name in. Get out of here, bro. So if Roshi's power level was that much, right? We are seeing that Roshi should have been at 180. Now, what is this buff form power level? They don't tell us. So let's just make some assumptions. Let's assume the buff form was 360. So 360, like it was double. Alright, so Roshi was double his power level, 360. Then 360 times 2. So let's just say it's 720, whatever. I guess if you want to say that. I mean, I wouldn't even say it was that. Because it's irrelevant what it was. But Roshi was around 180, definitely weaker than Piccolo. Because, listen to what he says. 322. So clearly, Piccolo's power level resting is really high. Then this happens.
I can tell you're not from this planet, but you'd be a fool to attack me with such an insufficient power.
Now listen to me. You came here. I have no intention of starting a. All right, if that's the way.
So then look at this. Pay attention, guys. This is where things get really interesting. Also, thanks for everyone who's still sticking through with the video, sticking through with the stream. So we're getting through the further part. Ready?
He wants it.
So obviously Piccolo put way more force here. Now, it's important to understand what ki control is. Ki control is an aspect that is used for the story so that big destructive fields don't actually get destroyed. Because if Piccolo had that much power, you'll get it in a sense.
Impressive. You actually managed to singe some of my leg hair. But allow me to demonstrate.
So, so basically, for those who are still in the stream, what this means is, yeah, this, as I'm about to put, that right there, those leg hairs from Raditz are more durable than the attack Piccolo used to blow up the The attacks Piccolo used to blow up the goddamn moon. Raditz's leg hairs are stronger than that. Piccolo put more effort in that attack versus Raditz. Because Piccolo wasn't even training at this point. He was training Gohan for a little bit, so he wasn't completely that much stronger. And then Piccolo literally blows up the moon with the swipe of his hand because the moon was an annoyance. And then, literally, Versus Raditz, he flexes his muscles, charges up, and throws out a really powerful attack. Raditz doesn't block, he just looks at it, it hits his face. And the only thing singed on his body was his leg hairs. So Piccolo not only dished out an attack with the same effort as Toneri, right? Let's say Toneri and Piccolo had the same effort for destroying the moon. He not only dished out the similar effort, but he then dished out more effort versus Raditz, to which couldn't even harm his leg hairs. So quite literally, Raditz, while not even trying to block, literally tanked the entire attack. So the question comes down to, now when we look at Toneri versus Raditz, this isn't about being a Dragon Ball tard, a Dragon Ball fan, a Naruto tard. This is about just simply understanding why details and effort matters. So for those of you who stuck around this extremely long explanation, the basically too long didn't read is effort matters because Piccolo put more effort to destroy the moon than Toneri put in Piccolo put the same amount of effort to vaporizing the moon versus Toneri, who just fragmented the moon and just split it in half. Piccolo put less effort in that and did something more damaging to Toneri. Then when he fought Raditz, Piccolo put more effort to kill Raditz and failed to even damage Raditz's leg hair. So really sit down and think about that. Imagine if Mike Tyson punched someone as hard as he could and he tickled him. That's the equivalent of Raditz. Imagine an attack with exatons of TNT, but it can't even singe your own pubic hair. Like, the fact that Raditz's pubic hair is as durable as a moon being vaporized or a small planet being destroyed is absolutely ridiculous upon belief. Like, it's absolutely, it's stupid. It's completely stupid how powerful you have to be to do that. So in an actual fight, I'm not trying to be a Dragon Tard or anything, and I love Naruto too. But let's be honest, guys. How do you think the battle will go? So, here, let me give you guys an understanding of that. So, all right, so, based on this info, so let's take a look there. Yes, correct, Thor's hammer. In real life, if I was hitting you with an explosion, but it couldn't even singe your own armpit hair, that would really put into question about how much more power I would actually need to break through your skin, which is far more durable than your hairs are. So in generally speaking, I'd have to dish out hundreds of times the power, or at least a few dozen times the power, in order to at least see any type of bruising or skin hashes or anything like that. So that's something to keep in mind. Roz, you're hilarious, even though I know that's based on what we're discussing. We want to look at this from a critical perspective. Again, details matter. Because the details that matter in the fight is if we look at them feat for feat. Now, obviously, Toneri has a lot going for him as far as speed goes, right? Toneri has a lot more going for him if you factor in speed. But we're just talking about just general power and effort, right? Like if we had a let's play a game of chicken, Raditz and Toneri about to punch each other in the face, who would win that trade-off? And, you know, from what we've seen, based on feats per feats, Raditz is going to outlast. Not only does Raditz have the durability, but he has the AP to back up his, you know, his abilities. So I think that's something important to consider. Well, I don't really think Toneri's hacks are going to play a factor against Raditz, Roz, because as we learned with Dragon Ball, it's a very consistent feat throughout the entire series since the beginning of Dragon Ball. When you have more power and more ki, because of the nature of what makes up ki requires strength of the mind. It requires willpower. It's vigor. So vigor is literally vitality and willpower in Japanese culture. And not only is that practice and philosophy taught in Dragon Ball, we see it work. Because something that's telekinetic, like Chaozu's abilities, and magnetic forces, which should be able to disrupt Nappa, he couldn't get through to Nappa or even hurt him. In similar cases, when Goku fought Anin, he had to use his mind's eye to get through certain illusions. So, and we also learned that from Baba couldn't see the future because the Saiyans had so much more ki than she did, she couldn't predict it. It's kind of similar to how Shanks has so much haki that you can't really use observational haki against Shanks because his raw Conqueror's haki just kind of blocks it out. I believe it was something like that. So kind of in a similar counter case, I don't believe that due to the strength difference that we can really insinuate that Toneri can do that to someone who's arguably 1,000 times stronger than him in raw AP and durability. Arguably. Just using raw calcs. So I think that overall, as a result, it really puts into perspective about why I think that in like these battles, details matter a lot. And yes, correct, Vegeta Scales. Ki is spiritual. Vitality, righteousness, it's a conceptual idea. When you look deeper into what Toriyama intended it to be, it's shown in the series by their feats. Since they use Ki to tap into the mental realm, where we see Kitella talk with Sidra, and we see Gohan and Krillin train. So I believe because they can go into the mental realm, I don't doubt that Raditz is not able to also manifest some type of defense against it. Potentially, just by just being more powerful. In addition to that, we have to factor in if Raditz did use Great Ape, his power level would shoot up to in the 15,000 threshold. So then that would make him even more of a threat, but we're not going to go there. We're just mostly talking about like hypothetically in like a scenario where they slug it out. And Toneri's arrogance, I don't know if Toneri will be able to even recognize how much stronger Raditz is. So if like he takes a hit, I think it's just going to be game over. It's kind of like when you're playing a fighting game, you're like, oh, that won't kill. It's like when you're fighting in Smash Brothers, and Incineroar got his revenge. And then he goes to hit your shield, and you're like, I'm gonna block it. And then it breaks your shield, and you're like, I didn't know that would break my shield. And now it broke your shield, you're left wide open. So I kind of feel like in an actual battle, Toneri probably won't have any idea how hard Raditz hits. And given that Raditz would just throw a ki blast at him several times the speed of light, which not saying Toneri can't react to it, but if Toneri is aware of it, depending on the scenario and variables, the battle could easily just be like a low difficulty one shot. Otherwise, if Toneri is aware of Raditz's raw power and is able to keep the distance, then of course the battle is a lot more interesting. But we're just talking about in this example. So, yes, Retro, Ki disrupts future sight. Correct, Doris Hammer. Doris Hammer says, conceptual doesn't necessarily mean it's something astronomical or dimensionally more powerful. Yes, that's true. It's a magic power system with a formula essay to follow. At least in Dragon Ball Z for the most part. Correct. In most fictions, you have to look at what their powers have done. In Dragon Ball, we've known them to resist many different mind hacks, durability, even Hiei. Yu Yu Hakusho, if we look at Hiei when he fought Makuro, was able to tank an attack that had spatial properties to it, that sever spatial things. But Hiei has astral defense because he knows how to defend against spiritual attacks. He can literally see spiritual demons and attack the soul. Toguro can absorb the soul. So in many cases, they have soul and astral capabilities that they can use for their power system. Toneri should also have similar levels of attacks because he scales higher than Madara, if I recall. I could be wrong though. So ultimately, it really is going to come down to a lot of variables, but I really think that in a situation where Toneri is off his guard, in character, I would assume, and lets Raditz land a punch on him, Toneri is probably going to be out of commission in that one hit, assuming Raditz is actually going all out.
And if we factor in that Goku was faster than the speed of light when he dodged the solar flare, or dodged the lasers, or had similar light speed feats in early Dragon Ball, then yeah, the speed gap might not be as significant as we'd like to think. But other than that, generally speaking, Toneri has the edge in speed, Raditz has the edge in power and durability. It really comes down to what can Toneri use to put Raditz down. And, you know, again, that's going to be something that is really up for debate, to be honest. Just because Raditz did dodge a special beam cannon, which is way faster than the blast that hit the moon from Piccolo, which is faster than the blaster that hit the moon from Roshi. So definitely should be at least several times the speed of light, easily. But Toneri may have better light speed feats, because even a fodder Kakashi could dodge, you know, the Water Fang Jutsu, or use the Water Fang Jutsu, which is light speed. But yeah. I mean, if Toneri is stated to have chakra levels similar to Kaguya, that's great. But I'd like to see like evidence that he has the actual attack potency. Because the difference is with like attack potency, and this is what I mean by details matter. The attack potency aspect may be something, because Thor's hammer brought this up to me before. And Thor's hammer had a point. Shiko Teiza, I believe it was Thor's hammer. Shiko Teiza got hit by Akashio Katsumi before even unlocking everything. But Shiko Teiza may be a glass cannon. So it's like, okay, is Toneri able to... Like, what makes Toneri have similar levels to Kaguya? Is it his AP? Or is it Otsutsuki abilities? Is it his hacks? Is he able to create dimensions and destroy them like Kaguya? Do we have evidence of that? And if so, are they referring to power are alike each other? Or their powers are exactly the same? See, I like to look at this from a more analytical perspective, because in power scaling, details always matter. So if we're looking at it from that perspective, we have to ask ourselves, is it the actual power level or chakra level? Does he have as much chakra reserves as Kaguya and just doesn't have the AP? Because let me give you an example. Let's say me and Vegeta Scales, or me and Javier, have the same stamina and we all run. Just because I have 100 units of stamina and Vegeta Scales has 100 units of stamina, doesn't mean we sprint at the same speed. Android 17 and 18 had infinite ki, but that doesn't mean they can output all infinite ki all at once. They only have a maximum limit. Similar to like a water tank formula, right? So like, hey, I can dish out, like, I have 100 units of energy. Vegeta Scales has 100 units of energy. Or let's say this, I have 1,000 units of energy. Vegeta Scales has 100 units. Vegeta Scales can shoot all 100 units of his energy in one big blast, giving him much greater AP and much greater DC. But I can only shoot out like 50 units. You know what I mean? It's similar to why like certain small boxers like Pacquiao can punch harder than even big guys like Simian Panda. I don't think Simian Panda, despite how big he is as a bodybuilder, can punch as hard as like Pacquiao, because it's called energy efficiency. So if the energy efficiency of Toneri can actually match out to Kaguya, then I'd like to see. I'm curious of how that works, and I'm curious of like to what degree. Now, obviously, Toneri isn't limited to the moon level feat, but I think that seeing how much effort he puts in it, and compared to how much effort Raditz had to put into just tanking an attack that was hundreds of times stronger than what Toneri even pulled off, is something we need to factor in when we look at it from a detailed perspective. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying when it comes to details or effort matters, it just means we have to open our eyes and look at the lens a little bit carefully. The battle is never black and white. And I think the problem is with most of the versus battle community, we're too quick to try to answer a question on who wins a battle, but we really don't analyze all the factors. And I think that has to do with just some of us being, we just kind of autopilot the answer. Like, let me give you guys an example of what I'm talking about autopiloting an answer. If I show you, let me show you guys an interesting matchup battle right now. And I want to see everyone else's input on this real quick. So, if we look at this battle right here. Let's see.
Alright, let's take a look at this battle. I'm going to throw a battle in real quick. Bam. We're going to take a look at it here. So let's open this in a new tab. We're moving on to the next part. Alright, we're going to do Effort Matters Part 2. Effort Matters Part 2. This is important. 09. Yeah. And then we're going to go here. Effort Matters Part 2. So, Effort Matters Part 2. Let's start getting into a little bit more details. So, let's start using some examples. How fast is Toneri? Good question. The Dark Knight. I believe Toneri is definitely going to be in the hundreds times faster than light. Because Kakashi is already able to dodge. Kakashi can produce the Water Bullet Fang. So Water Fang Bullet that Kakashi uses against Itachi is really important because when he does this jutsu, it's stated to be at the speed of light. So if we type this in and we go straight to here, speed. This technique is stated to be bullets at the speed of light. Now Kakashi can use this. Itachi can react to it. So if you factor in how much weaker Kakashi was and how jutsu can be amplified on your chakra, Toneri could be hundreds of times speed of light. But the reason I'm not saying thousands of times is because we don't have direct multipliers of every form. We don't actually know how much stronger Kakashi was, because remember, Naruto's scaling isn't as linear and they don't use transitive property as verbatim as Dragon Ball. Here's an example. Think about how Haku put up a fight in the war. Haku was pretty strong, but Haku was an early character, which means Haku could actually do a decent job against like an Akatsuki member, meaning Kakashi wasn't that much weak. We only think of him as fodder because in the beginning of the series, that's what most shows do. It's called the Wolf effect, and we're going to end the poll here. The Wolf effect is when a character is so strong that another character is stronger than them, but then another character bodies them to show how strong the new character is. So the Wolf effect is why this becomes a problem. Remember, despite learning the Chidori and Rasengan, Kakashi tossed Naruto around like a bag of Doritos. Naruto and Sasuke, he tossed those two like a bag of Doritos. And remember, Naruto, although he did hurt Kabuto, that doesn't mean he's necessarily weak. You see, it's no different between a 12-year-old punching a grown man in the face when the grown man is already battered and bruised from fighting everyone else. And because Naruto is also not a weakling, he's pretty dang strong, yeah, obviously, you're using jutsu. So it's also a bigger thing. If a 12-year-old takes a grenade and hits you with it, or like, I don't know, like a flashbang and hits you with it up front, that's gonna hurt, regardless, because it's a flash grenade. So if Naruto hits you with a Rasengan, it's gonna hurt. It's a Rasengan. The entry-level Rasengan is very powerful. Even an entry-level Kamehameha from Goku blew up the wheels off a car, and he didn't even know how to do it. So it's like how crazy an attack is based on its entry level. But again, effort matters. So because of this, the nature of the fact that Haku wasn't hundreds of times weaker than everyone, and there's no training that was done for Haku, that just tells us that the gap between Kakashi and the Hokages wasn't really big, and Naruto was more grounded. The only reason we felt like it was big was because in Naruto, skill set matters more than just raw power. So because skill set matters more than raw power, you're going to see that happen a lot. So give me one moment. I'm going to take my dog to the restroom.
back. All right, guys, so I'm back, and I'm going to read the chat in just a moment. The Dark Knight says, there's a feat where Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta was able to sense the Ginyu Force space pods. Yes, that's impressive. Which oftentimes travel at billions of times the speed of light. That's correct, the Dark Knight. Those little details matter. And the question is it consistent? With Naruto, I wouldn't say Naruto is something like that where characters usually aren't thousands of times stronger in Naruto. It's a fact. They're not. And the reason we know this is because Naruto is more grounded and it's like power jumps. Naruto doesn't really do crazy power jumps until Boruto gets involved. But even Boruto isn't as crazy as Dragon Ball. Because think about it. Gohan's power level went from a 1 to a 700 to 1,000. That's ridiculous. Think about it this way. Goku went from a 90,000 in base to 3 million just from getting his body beat up. That's stupid. That's absolutely stupid. If you take 3 million, right, and you divide it by 90,000, you're looking at a 33 times difference. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that is absolutely that is gargantuan. That is an insane increase. And then we're looking at characters in Dragon Ball who bypass their base form self. Now, Naruto characters have a couple moments where it seems like they do that, but then the narrative kind of goes about it and kind of changes it up. I think that's also when Clyde did his video about Ichigo and his speed, he kind of emphasized how we got to be careful of what the narrative consistency tells us, otherwise we'd have Ichigo being 7.5 million times the speed of light. It kind of gets a little bit like, is that necessarily true? But again, I digress. Power scaling doesn't really care about all that. It cares about the logic. But it should care about the narrative too, for the sake of expediency and consistency. Because if we ignored narrative, I'm telling you, we can get some characters that are so ridiculously much faster and stronger, it's absolutely stupid. Like if I applied the gap between an S class and the gap between a D class is in the millions. So does that, and the D class was using photons. So should I say Yusuke is millions of times speed of light because of that? No. We have to look at it and kind of make a careful and a consistent, and I would say a cohesive and coherent assessment based on what we're seeing. A 44 billion times the speed of light to be exact. Very good. Thank you, Dark Knight. I do appreciate that. Dark Knight is correct on that. Now, I do want to talk a little bit more about a couple other things that need to be factored in. When it comes down to it, right, this fight, let's take a look at this fight. Meruem versus All Might in Vs Prime. All Might said it would take 5 punches to take out Nomu versus the 300. So, All Might was 60 times stronger in AP. And because his AP is related, because his power is related to his speed, because he kicks off the ground, that means All Might was 60 times faster. There's a feat where All Might moves at Mach speed, and he's able to travel while fighting Nomu. It took him, I think they calculated him to be 180 to 300 miles per hour. So let's just say a baseline, he's Mach speed. That would mean he's Mach 60, which is crazy. So if you look at Mach 60, All Might is ridiculously fast. Now, is this completely accurate? I think it is. In short bursts, it's accurate to his numbers. Now, when it comes to Meruem, I think the problem is that many people were too fast to rush the answer. But we have to look at Hunter for what it's worth. Meruem isn't completely that weak. He can't risk getting hit by All Might because it would hurt him. But that being said, he has speed. But the question is, how fast is Meruem's speed? Okay, so what was his name? Netero could punch faster than the speed of sound. How much faster? It's not clear. Now Netero was very fast. Hunter x Hunter is more grounded. But Meruem, even Pito, was able to move at Mach speeds. Now Killua's Godspeed doesn't have a direct speed to it. Now, is it as fast as lightning? I'm not 100% sure. Somebody in the chat, let me know if there's a data book on it. So, yeah. But with Godspeed, I don't see it as something that Meruem can't react to. Because even Killua's assistants at his house, at his home, could somewhat react to it. Now, UP couldn't react to it, so it makes you wonder. But now again, they were keeping up because Killua was carrying someone. But it makes you wonder, what is the actual speed of Godspeed? Because I don't see it as something that Meruem can't react to. Meruem is so much stronger than his royal guards, it's not even funny. And faster. So you could argue that post Rose Meruem should be as fast as Godspeed, which is faster than the human reaction. So when we look at like some of the feats, right, and I'll post one here, it kind of makes you wonder, like, was Killua actually lightning speed? Because if he was, that would give, you know, a heavy advantage. Now, obviously, All Might isn't capped at that, but I'm just saying that I don't think Meruem would be outsped by All Might, depending on how you want to go about it. Now, again, I'm not completely caught up with all of My Hero Academia, but I'm just giving an example as to why you might not want to completely rush the results of a battle. People want to give an answer and say, I think he just one-shots. Yeah, I think he does too. Because he puts out so much power. All Might can put out so much power in his punch. Meruem will probably be bleeding. And All Might hits hard. I'm pretty confident All Might hits as hard as a nuke when you look at his punch. So, All Might versus All for One Manga. Let's take a look at one of his feats. I did a calc on this before. There was a feat. This one here. When you factor in that each building is an average height of 100 feet, and we're going to use this here. We're going to open this in a new tab. I remember doing this. I had estimated that this was about 10,000 feet, as high as like an airplane. And the overall destructive forces, you know, it's crazy. And this is All Might being 60 times weaker. And All Might had to take all his power, all this energy had to be turned back on him. So if Meruem gets hit by something 60 times more powerful than this, which by calcs, I believe was mountain range level, small island, almost. Like between large mountain and small island. It's ridiculous. It's kind of stupid how much power All Might has. And that's supposed to be like a strong punch. All Might can throw out like 100 of those in a second, in like a couple moments. So I don't think Meruem's body is going to be feeling really nice if he gets hit. Correct, Thor's Hammer. You would have to increase it billion times over in attack potency. Good question. So the reason why this feat is higher than Megaton level is because if you look at it, if we examine it closely, we have to take a look at the mountain range in the background, right? Then we have to take a look at the elevation. So when you look at the elevation and the average building height of a city in Tokyo. So let's see. Average building height, Tokyo. Commercial buildings are typically 10 floors. Okay. Though this can vary depending on the architecture. The average height of a building in Tokyo is around 14 to 15 meters. So let's just use that as a small examples. Because 53 building structures stand about 614 feet tall. Alright. Let's just do 15 meters. So you're looking at 49 to 50 feet tall. Most of them in downtown. Now, obviously, this is assuming these are not commercial buildings. Clearly, they're going to be way higher. They're likely going to be the 70 to a couple hundred feet. In fact, why don't we take a look at Tokyo? Let's take a look at the metropolitan cities. And you can kind of get like an image, like looking at something like this kind of gives you like an idea of what you're dealing with. So you're looking at buildings. When you look at the structure of the roads, because you can barely see the roads, when you look at the road structure and you factor in how much taller these buildings are going to be, it kind of gives you an idea. So look at the average person and then look at the average building. So yeah, 57 to 80 feet is approximate, it looks like, just from eyeballing. But there are other districts in Tokyo, and by the looks of it, All Might and them look like they're fighting in similar districts where there's a little bit of more of a population. They looks like there to be a lot of like high buildings, tall buildings too. So when you factor in that this is like more than a couple thousand, like if you factor in that this is like almost like this is literally almost a mile high. Well, not a mile high, but like if this is like 100 feet, right? Let's just say this is 100. When you factor in and you're able to linearly lay it out like about here, and you just move the height up, you're looking at 2,000 feet almost. So it's really crazy for the shrapnel to go at 2,000 feet high off of just a single attack. And remember, All Might destroyed an entire city block while restrained, while sick, while wounded when he was fighting Deku and Bakugo. Let's take a look at that feat. And I think this feat is heavily underlooked.
Look at these humans. Just walk.
Yeah. I don't care.
Hey, you.
So when we take a look at this feat, we're going to take a look and watch what All Might does. That was just a single punch. Now, I want you to look. That's not the punch itself. That is the impact. So all he did was just use the shockwave of his punch. I want you to sit your behind down and think about that. Oh, I'll tell you Thor's hammer. There is a reason why. Because you can use the environmental artistic effects. Oh, wait. I think you already asked that comment. We use the environmental artistic effects to kind of figure it out. But look at this. This is just an impact from... Look at the weights on his hand. That's more than 200 plus pounds on his hand. Completely restrained on his limbs, which reduces your powers by a lot. Because you can't move as fast because it's hanging on the limbs. And due to the way center of gravity works, that means he's fighting against weight on his limbs while still being able to punch that hard. So he's completely restrained. He's 60 times weaker from his prime. He's sick, not feeling well. And this is what we get from just a simple shockwave of his punch. Pay attention. That is absolutely stupid. That's just him stomping his feet on the ground. So All Might completely cleared not only the street. Look at the freaking ground, bro. And that was holding back to make sure the kids could tank it. What did the ground look like prior? Let's see. Oh, there's asphalt on the ground. So a casual punch from All Might was able to rip off the asphalt on the ground and completely shatter the city block. And that's not even him trying. So when we already know that he's in the kiloton territory, right? Because that's city block. Well, sorry, yeah, multi-city block, because that was more than one. When we know he's in the kiloton territory to almost small town level while holding back, it's clear that he definitely can reach in the later echelons. Now, it doesn't seem like it, but when you factor in that he could dish out 60 times what we're seeing on screen, it does kind of help paint the perspective. Because All Might never intended to hurt them, the kids. So when you factor in that, and then his feat when he changed the weather, yeah, All Might is going into the megatons territory, almost low gigatons. But there's a better way to calc that. But I won't be doing it here. All Might is strong as... Correct, that's what I'm saying. And he's losing to a Frieza foot soldier. Exactly, that's even more scarier. What makes it scary is Raspberry. This nerdy looking, he does not look cool whatsoever. A crocodile, a Florida man, and an alligator. The fact that a Florida man and an alligator could completely solo the entire My Hero Academia verse. Remember, they see Raditz level fighters as fodder. They think Raditz is trash. This is ridiculous. These guys, Florida man and Florida gator, see them as trash. That's so stupid, but it's funny. I know, it is. It's absolutely hilarious. Man, look at this guy. He looks like a cornball. They look like absolute cornballs. And here are people gonna say, but in the filler, they got beaten by, but they didn't get beat up by a mama crab? I mean, yeah. That doesn't, like, animals in Dragon Ball have extremely high power levels. No, animals in Dragon Ball don't have high power levels. You wanna bet? Remember this stupid snake? Yeah. Don't forget that. Where was it? It wasn't this one. It was when Gohan and Videl had to save that baby dinosaur. This thing. I forgot its name. Gohan had to save that, and one of the creatures was strong enough to kind of give a cut on Gohan's face. And then don't forget when Jiren came to save everyone. How many people remember when Jiren, like, even Dispo and Topo were struggling slightly, not really, but struggling a little bit against that hero, and Jiren had to come save them. It's not saying these creatures are planetary, I guess, but I don't know, man. Maybe they are, and they just don't have Ki Blast. It's like Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi's power level is in the 130s, but she doesn't have Ki Blast, so I guess she just has AP. Toto, I believe. Thanks, finally, some quality content. Appreciate that. Yes, RDC. I think All Might is halfway out of verse. Not just kidding. All Might versus Chi-Chi. It's the fact that Chi-Chi is 130 in her power level. And it takes 180 to blow up the moon. I hate to say it, but didn't Roshi say Chi-Chi is extremely powerful and scary? And he wasn't even joking. That wasn't in like a gag. They were like legit like, yo, she's very powerful. And she tanked a hit from a held back and angry Goten. Yes, RDC is out of Versal. No, RDC is boundless. What are you talking about, Vegeta Scale? Stop lowballing. You know what makes it funnier? A Cyberman folds All Might. That's what I'm saying, man. These little creatures would end the entire My Hero Academia verse. And don't they have acid? Yeah, let me see. Jesus Christ! That literally melted like... What? How tall is Piccolo? 7 feet? Like, god dang, that's like... That's the most corrosive acid. That makes hydrochloric acid look like freaking bleach in alkalinity. So, yeah, that's kind of going to be scary. That's scary. And then, for people who don't think they're that strong, let me show you what Vegeta does.
But he was alive.
Right here. Nah, that wasn't the scene. Vegeta kills Cyberman. There it is.
Thanks. Looks like you got a hold.
Oh no, this is the same clip. Age restricted? Are you kidding me? Why is this age restricted? This is Piccolo burning someone to oblivion. Fine, we'll watch it here. So guys, this is what's gonna happen. If a Cyberman, if you had a moon level attack, a Cyberman, you wouldn't even hurt its leg hairs. This is what happens to a Cyberman from Piccolo. So let's take somebody like Madara. And I'm not disrespecting Madara. Do not think I'm disrespecting my boy Madara. I'm not disrespecting Madara at all. But if we had Saiyan Saga Piccolo versus base level Madara, not Edo Tensei, he's like crazy. But if we had base Piccolo fight Madara, this is what happened. Because as soon as Madara tries Taijutsu, this is what's going to happen. Madara is going to try Taijutsu, and Saiyan Saga Piccolo is going to do this. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be a wanker or a fanboy. This is what would happen if you had Saiyan Saga Piccolo fight Madara. Pay attention. Because Madara, I don't even think base Madara can vaporize a moon as casually. He can't. He can't. But let's assume he could. And let's assume he could do that 10 times over. Let's assume base Madara was small planet level durability. Because Piccolo has small planet level vaporization for the moon. Raditz, that couldn't even burn his leg hair. And Raditz could dish out more than 3 times that amount of power. So let's just assume the Cyberman has that same amount of power. Because Cyberman is technically as strong as Raditz. So we'd have to assume base Madara is small planet level. So even if we highball base Madara to be small planet level, this is what would happen to him. This is what would happen to base Madara from Saiyan Saga Piccolo. I feel so bad for the Cybermen, and I feel so bad because Madara's my boy. And I know people's like, oh, but the hacks. Look, we're not going to no limits fallacy and assume that his hacks are going to work on someone that much stronger than him. We're not. We're not going there. I'm not going to have this debate. Ocular Jutsu, Genjutsu, sure, whatever. But I don't think that's going to work on Piccolo at all, based on what we've seen feats from regular Dragon Ball and the hacks resistance they have. It's the fact that Piccolo would just take somebody, and base Madara is not even like small planet level. He's not. But if base Madara was small planet level, Piccolo will grab you. He will throw you in the air, and then he will literally just kill you. He will two-shot you. He'll punch you in the stomach, and he'll burp. Piccolo's burp will literally kill you, and you will be completely vaporized or atomized. So, yes, Madara would literally be atomized. And this is not to disrespect Madara. This is to make the point that effort matters. Yeah, the most you could do with Madara to argue small planet is the fact that he became... Exactly. But even if you took the Ninetales, right? Okay, maybe not. Ninetales is like solid planetary. I'm pretty confident he is. But like base Madara, right? It's incredible. The fact that he could just say, come here, like Scorpion, come here, and then just throw him in the air and blow him up. That's insane. That's insane. It's like, oh.
Chi-Chi versus All Might.
Yes, our first donation of the stream. Let's give a good shout out. Give some fires in the chat and hype for The Dark Knight. Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate that. So, Chi-Chi versus All Might. If I'm going to actually be 100% honest with you, I'll jump into that. Let's talk about that. So we've seen All Might pull off crazy feats, but we haven't seen Chi-Chi. So there's a couple things we have to examine. So if we take a look. So obviously Chi-Chi, she's not a weakling. So Goku's dodging. Really good ability. Yes.
You really know how to lay on the charm, don't you? Of course we've met before!
Yes. Look at this choreography. So, she's putting up a decent fight, and I recall, I forgot who said this.
That's it. Goku and that girl must have been friends once.
And then here, I think Roshi says it here.
Did I promise you something?
She just jumped like 50 plus feet in the air.
That's right! Let me jog your
Whatever problem these two are having, one thing's for certain, she's a good fighter. Her techniques resemble the style of the turtle school.
Oh, how could that be?
So if Roshi is acknowledging her as an incredible fighter, which I believe in the Japanese, let's look up the sub. What does Roshi say this time around? So, nope, not that. We need to actually see the fight. Well, I don't think we're going to find it here, because, you know, it's almost impossible to find a sub. And then this scene. But the idea is that Chi-Chi isn't weak. Alright, so let's take a look. Chi-Chi power level. Now, people say power levels are not accurate, but shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. So Chi-Chi's power level is 130. Roshi is 180. And Roshi said she's a really good fighter, or incredibly powerful. Here's what we need to recognize. Okay? Chi-Chi is extremely skilled. So as far as martial arts go, I'm willing to say she is likely going to have the upper hand against All Might because she trained Goten. And the Turtle Hermit Way is one of the most powerful martial arts out there. Chi-Chi is stronger than, I forgot Homeboy's name. It's not Tao Pai Pai. It's the other guy. I think it's Master Shen. Master Shen, now obviously Master Shen has the Doronpa. So, yeah, I believe he does. So, he's going to obviously be able to do more power. Now, Chi-Chi doesn't have Ki Blast or Fly. But she is extremely durable. She got sent flying through her house, which is concrete, sent through a rock and through a tree, and was only slightly bruised. And that most of the damage was thanks to Goku. Just slapping her. Who didn't know how to suppress his power after coming back from Yardrat, where Goku was more than 10 times stronger than Frieza. So when you factor in the micro details of it, Chi-Chi may have the lower end power level, but she's not the weakest here. It's the fact that Chi-Chi here is, ridiculously strong. It's safe to say, based on what Roshi and Kid Goku can dish out at 180, if Chi-Chi is truly at 130, and we take this literal, this means that Chi-Chi can dish out, I know it sounds stupid, but as far as attack potency goes, she would be dishing out teratons of power. Okay? And I think it's a little bit appropriate. So, would Chi-Chi... no, this is not accurate. So, would Chi-Chi be very, 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 very powerful if she fought All Might? Absolutely. Who would win between All Might and Chi-Chi? I'd say All Might has... It's hard to say. Because the thing is, in the fight, Chi-Chi is fast. Let me see. Was it this scene? Yeah, I think it's this scene. She completely outruns a boar. And this is like an older Chi-Chi who's like not even training anymore, so. Now, is this boar bullet speed? Probably not. This is also for comedic effect. This is a bit comedic, so I wouldn't really take it completely, but yeah. Hilarious. Chi-Chi is insane. It's hilarious. But there was a scene where she completely, yeah. Decapitated this dinosaur. Uses a laser and vapor. Oh my goodness. We gotta see that again. Oh, thank you, Dark Knight, for this matchup. Hold on. Oh, this is hilarious. And the thing is, that thing's not automatic. She threw it hard enough to just one-shot it. And she just casually just vaporizes a dinosaur with a laser. And she's like completely fodder right here. It's so funny. And she's like way stronger as an adult. I don't know how strong Chi-Chi is actually supposed to be. That's the thing. She's supposed to be extremely strong. And I don't know, when she cared about Goku in the Tournament of Power, was it Chi-Chi cares about Goku? I think it was here. The Tournament of Power, yeah. She bro, she literally jumped from like 100+ feet and just lands no problem. Now, I know all of this is nothing compared to All Might, but the reason I'm playing these feats is because I'm trying to show there's a level of consistency with Chi-Chi being an absolute superhuman. So regardless of like how fodder she seems in her own series, she's like an absolute superhuman. So in a fight against All Might, how would that play out? I think it's hard because could Chi-Chi dodge a bullet? Videl can. I don't see why Chi-Chi can't. Because Chi-Chi is so much stronger than Hercule, it's almost incredible. And like characters like Nam are weaker than Chi-Chi. So I would say like Ranfan, all of them, those really powerful fighters Goku had trouble with, Chi-Chi's faster than most of them. And they can jump hundreds of feet in the air and dodge bullets. So I would say it's safe to say Chi-Chi can easily dodge Mach speed attacks. It's really hard to scale her speed. But I would say like speed is the only problem I would have. As far as All Might's strength goes, if Chi-Chi is not in her comedic element and she's in her fighting prime, I'd say that her and All Might should have relativistic AP. Or just power levels are just so stupid that Chi-Chi actually can level a country with her AP and she'd one-shot All Might. So that just kind of comes down to like, it could be a death of the author moment for Chi-Chi's power level, but I really find a hard time to find that out. So I would say, if you take her power level in consideration, she one-shots All Might. It's incredible. She like one-shots him incredibly easily. But if we don't take that in consideration, then, All Might actually would win if we remove the plot base. Because then All Might would have more evidence of being faster, and All Might would have more evidence of hitting harder. Let's see here. Chi-Chi is moon level according to versus battle. I mean, well, probably. Gee, say goodbye, the non-powered and relative tier powered heroes in the Justice League.
Kid Chi-Chi solos Jurassic Park. I know, right? A normal Wonder Woman and cartoon Justice League show doesn't display that much level of strength. I know, it's kind of stupid. Alright, Chi-Chi is relativistic. Yeah. Alright then, if that's the case, then Chi-Chi absolutely dog walks him then. Chi-Chi will dog walk All Might if that's the case. Especially if she's pissed. And I think All Might himself will be scared. Goku that fought the Red Ribbon Army, I think he was in the hundreds. Like a low 100. So, could Chi-Chi fight the Red Ribbon Army? Maybe. I don't know, it really depends. Was Chi-Chi intended to be 130, or did they meant for her power level to just be like 100 flat? It's hard to say. Chi-Chi versus Omni-Man? Omni-Man would win. Omni-Man is way too fast. And Omni-Man could level planets. I'm sure he can, or level continents. Omni-Man should be Continental Plus if you want a low ball. But I'm pretty sure there was some evidence of Omni-Man being very, very powerful. More than planet level. So yeah. Chi-Chi was crazy. Chi-Chi estaba loca. Yes, she is. Chi-Chi will take a chancla and hit you in the head with it. So, alright, so we got that over with. But, like, let's kind of understand one more thing. Because we're getting to the conclusion, because we like to just do the stream for about 2 hours. Overall, we know how strong they are. But effort still always matters. So I think because effort matters, that's why. So let's take another battle example. We did the Chi-Chi and All Might. Let's take another battle example of effort. Forgot what that thing, Golem, that's what it was. Let's take a look at So let's take a look at my boy. So we're gonna have another fight. We're gonna use Toriko from this arc versus like who could we take? Let's take I got a good battle. Let's take someone like Tanjiro versus Toriko, right? So Tanjiro versus Toriko. If Tanjiro, who's very powerful, fought Toriko, how would this Kuki punch be? Let's take a look at the effort. Or not Toriko, but rather Tanjiro might not be strong enough. He might not be up for the battle. So let's use Deku. I like Deku. So in a similar case as we did before, we're gonna take two characters. And guys, don't say anything rude about Deku. Deku's a nice kid. Alright, so we're only taking Toriko from the lower end arcs, like here. We're not gonna use any of his crazy stuff. So we're gonna have Toriko. Alright, let's see. We're not gonna have Toriko do anything crazy. Let me see here if I can get a good picture of Toriko. Alright, so let's try this. Alright, so if we had like a battle like this going on, how is this gonna go? Right? we've seen Deku's crazy feats, and Deku's very powerful. But let's kind of take a look at like a comparison, right? If we like look at this, what is Toriko's like comparison to that? Let's take a look at what Toriko did. Let's take a look at Effort Matters again. So, alright. Look at the effort. That's it. This dude just doesn't even move his hand. He just like, it's like he's saying hello. This dude he's basically saying hello. It's like he just said hello. Hi. And this creature is a high capture level character. And let me tell you guys, Kuki Punch is his base power multiplied for each punch. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. It's so dumb. Because it's not, people think it's, oh, I did 3 Kuki Punch. That means 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. No, it's 1 hit. The next hit is going to multiply my 1 hit by 2. Then the next hit is going to be multiplied by 3. Like, what? That's stupid. So then, oh, Kugi Punch times 10. Kugi Punch Jubai. Okay, what does that mean? Alright, the first hit hits you 1 times my full power, which Toriko can already level large city blocks with his 1 punch. Then that's going to get multiplied by 2. Then that result is going to get multiplied by 3. Then that gets multiplied by 4. And whatever that was gets multiplied by 5. You see, now we're in town level. That town level punch gets multiplied by 6. Now we're in like large town. That large town gets multiplied by 7. Now we're city level. City level gets multiplied by 8. Guess we're in mountain level. Mountain level gets multiplied by 9. Guess we're large mountain. That gets multiplied by 10. Guess we're island level. That's how stupid his attack is. Because it just like multiplies. So, watch. And yes, red hair is correct. It is a filler, but Toriko still scales to it when you see his later fights after this happens. So, it wouldn't be completely ridiculous. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 30, I can't even keep up. This is like 70. He just got atomized. He leveled a hole in the mountain. But I feel like I could do more. That's so stupid! This character's dumb! Why is he so broken? He's like, oh yeah, that probably, like, as far as like attack potency goes, that was probably like large island level because of all the multipliers. But you know what? I could probably just do more. What? That's so stupid. Like, why did they give him that? That's like you're saying, I want to play Smash Brothers, but only I can get all the Smash Balls. That's like playing KOF, and you're like, you get 0 meter, but I get infinite meter. So I get the spam specials until I chip damn. Like, come on. The thing is, when he does it, look how casual he says it, and how casual he was about it. That's it. That was a simple just wave of his hand. That's so stupid.
Toriko above that. Before Food Honor, he destroyed a mountain for training. Yup, that's true. 6-fold Kugi punch, and after Food Honor, he's doing like 20. Thank you, red hair. That's so stupid. like, look. All right, let's see. Mountain level. All right, let's say he's 100 megatons. All right, we know that Kugi punch was times 50, and this can cause overinflated calcs, but I don't even care right now. I don't care. I'm. Shut up. Everyone, just shut up. All right, look. Calculator. All right. So I'm 100 megatons of TNT. I'm mountain level. Kugi punch times 2. All right, great. Times 3. Great. Times 4. Times 5. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Stop. What are you doing? I didn't ask for full screen. Times 5. Cool, that's great. Could we do it again? Times 6. Times 7. This is so stupid. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, just doing this 20 more times would literally get him into like. All right, look. Let's do like 15. Let's do 15 of these. Like, no, this is so stupid. Alright, that's megatons. Then we divide it for gigatons. Then we divide the gigatons for teratons. Then we divide the teratons for petatons. And then we divide the petatons for exatons. So a 15 Kugi punch theoretically at the Food Honor would be like multi-continental, which doesn't make any sense. Anime scaling is stupid for Toriko. But that doesn't make any sense, because what's going to be even crazier, if you do it times 20, he's going to hit like moon level. It's like, why? Why did you make him so strong? What were you thinking? Red hair, I know. That's what makes it even stupider. Because the thing is, it's infinite. And if you think about Toriko's like food demon, like the food demon spirit, that thing is like eating universes. So it doesn't sound like an outlier if you say that a high-end Toriko is universal. Because weren't they feeding on a galaxy? And like at the end of the series, doesn't he see like a solar system sized snake and is like, oh, let's fight it? Like he's like at the end of the series, let me see. Toriko, last page. I think it was this page. Yeah, right here. They wanted to eat those things. Look, Komatsu, a Matsurashi Dango planet. Yeah. Like, look at this. He sees it right there in front of him. He's like, oh, look, a Matsurashi Dango planet. Let's get those dongos first. Oh, they're way too big. God, something just popped up, Toriko. It's a space Taipon. Let's fight it. You want to fight that? So it's like, oh, you got a multi-solar system sized snake. Yo, let's fight it, bro. That looks fun and it looks good. Like, what? Bro! It's literally a solar system sized snake. Why would you want to fight it? And he's like, yeah, let's have fun. Like, he's casually about to just punch it in the face. Like, what? Oh my goodness. Infinite Kuki's not even his best move. Neo was basically Boo. He eats you out of existence. Midora eats atoms. Yeah, he does. Yup, because his tongue. And then, like Aizen getting folded by Midora. Yeah, and then don't even forget Minority World. Because it's like, oh, the minority is me dying, but the majority is you losing, so you lose. Die. I'm like, what? That's stupid. How does that work? That's not fair. Like, oh my goodness, Toriko is probably... I still, to this day, think out of Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, I still think Toriko takes the lead in hacks in terms of, like, just stupidity of, like... all because of Minority World. I think Minority World is even stupider than Gojo's Infinity. In fact, that would be a good battle. Okay, no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Actually, I just thought about that. Gojo's Infinity, I don't even know if it'll work. Because wouldn't Minority World completely counter Infinity? And Yeah, I think Minority World would counter every single thing that Gojo has up his sleeve. Dang. And Sukuna. Yeah, Minority World would... Actually, yeah. Somebody who's remembers Toriko more than I do, correct me. Wouldn't Minority World from Midora, like complete... From Ichiro and Midora, wouldn't that just completely counter most Jujutsu Kaisen hacks and Naruto hacks? Just because the way Minority World works? Pretty sure. I knew Toriko was busted, but not this. That's what I'm saying, bro. Toriko is like... Bro, somebody get... I can't get over this picture. And this thing is bigger than galaxies! Technically, if you want to get all like technical with the perspective. Is that like a galaxy or a nebula? So if you want to go there, you could say like Toriko's about to fight a nebula-sized snake. And it's like, oh, that snake's as big as a nebula. Oh, cool! Let's fight it! Hey, Nick, what? You casually want to just fight it? Yes. Ridiculous. Es a uno lote de matemáticas. Yeah, it is. Thought that was insane power cliff. Check out Gene Morty from God of High School. I see. Let's see. What is Jin Mori's best feat? I'm gonna have to see Jin Mori's like awesome feats because I am curious to see. Minority World affects atoms too. Yeah, it does. The webtoon? I figured, because I was going to say, I don't think the anime has anything crazy. Jin Mori goes from a starbuster in his fight with Satan to a universe buster by the end. Oh, that's insane. That's the thing, though. You got to think about it, like... Mori can summon infinite amounts of themselves across the multiverse. Yo, seriously? No, I don't want to use Bing. Bing sucks. Search filter. Goodness gracious. Ugh. Alright, hold on. Give me just a minute. Let me modify this. This thing sucks. Bing! Get out of here! Alright, cool. Alright. Jin Mori. Alright, cool. Alright, let's talk about the multiverse. The Ryan Heaven realm. So I have a feeling the universe is turning white because of him. Oh my goodness. God dang. I gotta check this out then. Even if I use my full force. Are multiple dimensions overlapping? Is this like fan translated or is this accurate? Are multiple dimensions overlapping each other or is it just gravitational wave? Space is warping. Interesting. Yes, Atari. Minority World would reverse Gojo's infinity. Good to know. That's what I thought. During the battle with Jin Mori, he turns himself off the stars for a single second, and Jin Mori gains 200,000 times power. What? 200,000 times power? Is this guy a crackhead? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is some Dragon Ball level crap. Effort matters. Effort matters. Effort matters. Let me see here. Let's look up some stuff here. Tremendous power, which can even bend the laws of the natural world. Okay. That's insane. Like I said, this place is what you might call heaven. Everyone who reaches Nirvana ends up here. You could oversee from all creation. You will become a true god, free from the laws of nature. all over the universe. I need to read it myself to figure out the cosmology. Only those who have reached nirvana can come here. All of you cut ties. So that means if he could bend laws, he's a reality warper then. I would probably, based on what I'm seeing, it looks like it could be higher than low complex. Because if he could summon infinite variants of himself and be free from the rules of an infinite multiverse, he would bypass the infinite multiverse. But the infinite multiverse of the probability plane would be dictated by something else, because he would transcend that. So it depends. Because you have the heavenly realm he's talking about, so where does the heavenly realm scale? And if the heavenly realm's a higher dimension in there, the heavenly realm could be 5D, and if there's infinite number of heavenly realms, that's 6D. And if Jin Mori scales above all that, he could get to 7th dimensional. But I need to see like a little bit more. So based on this alone, Jin Mori is already like giving Super Saiyan God a run for his money, because because the way he's talking here, he sounds like he's casual. You aren't debating Atari. You're losing that outright. Wait, what are we debating? I forgot what I said. I don't even know. What was I talking about? What were we debating? Let's see here. Let's see. Apparently Boruto now. Yeah, what about Boruto? Alright, let's see here. Toriko is a victim now. Boruto scales to Cell Saga, if not Buu Saga. Toriko is a victim now. Bleach and the others surpass Toriko. I don't know about that. Bleach surpassing Toriko is a very interesting take, because there are too many things. So like me and Stride have, all right, so let's dabble back down. So me and Stride had this conversation before. There are too many things that need to be addressed when that. Say it is saying Boruto is Cell Saga to Buu Saga tiers. Say it. Oh, Cell Saga to Buu Saga tiers? I don't know if Boruto is that strong. Maybe. Depends on... Well, first, I need to understand how strong do you think Buu and Cell are? Bleach is low multiversal and scaling. That is very... that requires a lot of assertive evidence. Because even Toriko has multiple universes being eaten by their universal... Well, Onis, you could say. So, depending on how you go about that, you could technically argue the same. Now, the thing about Toriko is they're a little bit more verbatim about their feats. Bleach is a lot of statements. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay for a series to have statements, but they need to be outright. Like with Yu Yu Hakusho, we see sense we say planetary. Like with Genkai, we see the feats they pull off in some regard. We see the effort they put in. You know, we see a B-class Yusuke blowing up a mountain, and that's casual. And then we see them talking about the Earth will be destroyed. And then we see them going through, you know, space between dimensions, going into a bigger realm. We see a lot of things that kind of build up to the narrative. Bleach, it's not that it can't, because Unohana and Kenpachi fought in the Mugen, which is infinite. But we have to ask ourselves, is the anime kind of depicting where they want it, where Kubo intended it? And where do we go from there? Because remember, we're going from a meteorite from Grimmy. Grimmy sent down a meteorite and everyone was panicking thinking they're all gonna die. Why is a meteorite from Grimmy having a lot of people scared of it if they're supposed to be universal? Doesn't make any sense. So we have to look at it carefully. Like, the Squad Zero captains are so much stronger than everyone else. They would actually body them. But then again, this could be a case. Don't worry, say it. It could be a case of writers can't do math. This happens quite often where writers aren't considering the mathematics. Like, maybe Kubo is like, I know I want them universal, but I just think destroying a meteor just looks so raw. So maybe that's the case, you know? Boruto is star level, if not solar system plus, and has hella hacks. I think star level is not a bad take. I actually don't think that's a bad take on Boruto. But the problem is, Toriko is surpassed star level. Bleach is kind of also surpassed star level. Yusuke gets to star level, but I don't think he surpasses it. Though it does say he has the energy of a small star in his body in the official guides. The thing is, though, with Frieza... yeah, I'd like to see a character in Boruto do this. I want to see a single character in Boruto do this. Show me a character in Boruto do this. Yeah. Show me a character do that. Ready? I'd like to see a character in Boruto do this. While sitting down. Effort matters. Remember the topic. Effort matters. While sitting down. Doing this. I'm not done yet. Hold on, say it. Don't even say... No pun intended. Don't even say nothing. Don't even say nothing. I'm not done yet. I'm not done cooking. I'm not done cooking. That's Frieza sitting his short 4'11" tall behind down, blowing up the planet with a finger. Let's check this out. Power level needed to destroy a planet. Ready? It says here, Piccolo puede haber superado esa cantidad si con una fuerza de combate de 10,000 se puede destruir un planeta. Es inconcebible lo que se puede lograr con 1,000,000. So, it says if you have a power level of 10,000, or a power level of 10,000 could destroy a planet. It's inconceivable what a power level of 1,000,000 can do. That is not made up. And yes, El Manga Legendario on page 17 is considerably accurate to the series. We already seen Piccolo, what Piccolo did at 300 power level. We already seen what he did at like 300 for his power level. Raditz said he couldn't even scratch his leg hair. But wait, we're not done. I'm not done cooking. Hold on, say it. Hold on, say it. Let me finish cooking. Remember, Planet Vegeta has 10 times the gravity of Earth. I'll let you in on something. The world that the Saiyans are had the same gravity as here. That means 10 times the gravity of the planet Earth. So either it's 10 times bigger or it's 10 times denser with 2 moons. Okay? So clearly, because it has 2 moons, that must mean it is a larger surface area mass for the Roche limit of the moons to work. Frieza destroyed the freaking moons with it, bro. And the worst part, he was sitting down. It only takes power level 10k to do that. And this planet is 10 times denser. That's like a dwarf star. Because if it's not as, if it's, assuming the surface area isn't as big as 10 times a planet of this magnitude would be, like Neptune, for example, assuming it's not a Neptune-sized planet, you're pretty much just, you'd still have to concede to the fact that it's an Earth-sized planet with 10 times the gravity, making it a dwarf star, or you'd have to concede that it's a super large planet. And if we assume it's a super large planet, the fact that it took Frieza sitting down with his fingertips, with a power level only needed of 10,000. But what is Frieza's power level? Frieza power level. I'm not done yet. I'm still not done. Let me finish cooking. Alright? We're not talking about the quintillion, because that is accurate. I know people said that's a pun. It's accurate. Frieza's power level was 530,000. Officially. If you take 530,000 and divide it by 10,000, oops, you are going to get a whopping 53, meaning 53 times stronger. If we take 53,000 is, if we take 0.5% of 53,000 is what? I'll show you. Check this out. Actually, we don't even need to do that. Take 10,000, divide it by 530,000, and that means Frieza was using approximately 0.01% of his power in his first form while sitting down. I am not trying to be a Dragon Ball wanker. I am a very analytical power scaler, and everyone gets a fair shot. But regardless of your statements you can get out of your data books, I don't care about Kurama. Kurama can blow up the planet at 50% of his power. Even though it says that he'll turn the world to ash at 50%, I can argue that just means surface level, or just wipe out the civilization. Which it probably could. That's probably what Kishimoto meant by that. But even if we say the full Nine Tails is double the power of blowing up a planet, who cares? Frieza did it 10 times that, including their moons, while sitting down at 0.01% of his power. That is 1/100th of a 1% of his entire power in his base form, sitting down. And you know what's even worse? You know what's worse? His final form is 120 million. So in his final, and that's his actual form. He only uses the first form to suppress his power. So in his actual form, that means he used, hold on. No, this is only 12 million. Yeah, this is only 12 million. But at 1 more 0, 120 million. What is it? He used 0.00008% of his power to blow up an entire planet with 10 times the density of the planet Earth. Including the moons. He pulled off a potential dwarf star feat or large. He vaporized it completely. He pulled off a dwarf star. He pulled off a potential dwarf star or large planetary plus feat while sitting down at 0.00008% of his power. That's the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, the 10,000, 100,000ths of a percent of his entire power. And you know why this isn't a outlier? Because guess what? When Goku powers up for Ginyu, let's take a look at the full scene of what happens. Because when Goku powers up for Ginyu, here's what actually happens. Listen. This is just 90,000. A power level of 90,000 does this. The entire atmosphere of the Earth reacts to his ki. The entirety of the solar system, because remember, Namek is the only planet within its own celestial body, meaning the 3 suns that surround Namek. Namek is a powerful enough planet that it doesn't get torn by the solar masses of 3 suns. Yet outside of that solar system, in a completely different solar system, light years away, the other planets are reacting to Goku's ki at 90,000 power level only. That's not even 1/5. That's not even 1/5 of first form Frieza's power level. And we're already seeing solar system level reactions. I do not want to hear it. This debate is done. He is not hitting cell level power. He doesn't even make it to Yardrat Goku power. Because Yardrat Goku blocked these stuff with his finger. I'm not even getting into what Frieza did. Like, nah, bro. I'm sorry, bro. And Frieza's using 800,000 of his power level to destroy a dwarf star. Ain't a damn thing nobody in Boruto gonna do about that. Unless you're Shibai, nobody ain't doing nothing. And the only thing about Shibai is, we don't even know if Shibai just transcended to a higher level of existence and just resides there, or if he actually transcended the universe and is infinitely stronger than a three-dimensional being. So we don't have any evidence of what the transcendency of Shibai even means yet. We don't know. Oh, he's a god of a different dimension. I'm like, okay, we need further evidence if we're going to back it up. But I don't go that way. I usually give Boruto fans the benefit of the doubt, as I'm also a Naruto fan, not a Boruto fan completely yet. But I'm just saying, bro, I had to get a little bit passionate about that because that's why effort matters. You're talking about a character with 90k. This Goku right here is gonna put up this Goku right here off of just raw feats. Hell no. This Goku right here is power up, which is affecting the solar system. Sorry, I gotta read the chat. I was going in. Yes, Earth is a small planet, Vegeta scales, that is correct. Hacks and speed don't matter if your hacks doesn't work on people stronger than you, and your speed doesn't matter if you can't damage them because of the power difference. So no speed in hacks, plus Frieza is faster than DBS. Yeah, unfortunately that's true. Boruto hacks are the infinite rotational future sight energy. Yeah, that is true. Boruto has that. Is this the only problem is, say it 3 times, is that Boruto hasn't shown, like, no Naruto character without assertions, without us making a large leap in assumption, has ever really showed that they can completely shatter dimensions with like raw AP. Because when we say things like, hey, Kagi could destroy her dimension, so do we just assume Kagi can destroy 6 different spacetimes and she's automatically low multiversal? Or do we say that she could do it as an effect with her technique by collapsing it? It's kind of like if I built my own house, but I have a big bomb in each house, and I hit the red button, and all 6 houses blow up. Am I actually scaling to my bombs? You know, it's kind of like that. So I feel like without additional evidence, it's too much of a high assertion. And again, Baba had said as well that if you have the ability, Baba has said this, even if you could read the future, you could see into the future, it doesn't matter. Baba can't even see into the future. And she comes from a actual higher dimension. They can't read it. So, sadly, that's the reality we're dealing with here. So I'm just saying that in the all sense of reality here, man, I get where you're coming from, and I understand it, but Baba is just on a completely... I mean, sorry, not Baba. Dragon Ball is just on a completely different level, man. You're talking about... Again, I'm not making this up. This isn't an edited video. This is back from the 1990s. Like 1992, I think it was, or 91? Or 90... Yeah, 92. This is like 92. Again... The fact that he affected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right here, and in Namek is 8. 8 planets just within his range, shaking them, potentially, with his raw aura, is ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. And it makes sense, because Frieza blew up a galaxy in his final form. When you do the calcs and the scaling of the power level algorithm, it kind of adds up. It's not like it's a complete outlier. You know, it does add up. But I'm just saying, like, this is crazy. Is Yamamoto's full... Let me see here. Is Yamamoto's full power Bankai capable of Dwarf Star tier? Yes. I would say so. It's stated to destroy the whole Soul Society. Now, do we say that's universe, including all the stars? Or is Soul Society more so referencing the planet? You see, it's kind of hard because Soul Society is a parallel world, like a separate time space. But it also makes us question, do they mean world? Like when I say he'll rule the world, yeah, he'll rule the planet. But in Dragon Ball, he'll rule the world, as in he'll rule the universe, all of creation. KOF, the world, all of creation in some context. So it's like, what scale are we talking about for Bleach context? You know, Dragon Ball is a intergalactic space fighting anime. KOF has mentioned many characters from different planets due to like SNK other titles. So like within that context with other dimensional splitting beings, we kind of get a little bit of an idea what the context of world means for KOF. But what about Bleach? We have different dimensions, but has any character ever shattered one or threatened one? It really comes into mind like to that degree. So I feel like an extremely high assertion of Yamato would Captain Yamato could assert that. Otherwise, probably not. I'm sorry, Roz. I'm currently soloing the stream right now, but I appreciate the offer. I'm aware of what Naruto can do. I just don't agree with everyone's takes on Naruto. I feel like some people's takes on Naruto misundermines what Kishimoto's intention was, because with Naruto isn't like Dragon Ball. And I hate using like Swag Hage and Seth as an example, but they know a lot about Naruto too. And even the other Naruto fans who like really actually calc them, we've all said it. Naruto characters don't typically, not that they can't, they don't typically casually dish out planet level punches like Dragon Ball does. Where it's like, hey, it's a requirement you have to have the punching power to destroy a planet to even hurt me. Whereas Naruto, it's like, you can catch me off guard. There's certain hacks, there's techniques, there's skill issues. Like, Neji was stronger than Naruto, but Neji was, like, extremely powerful. Neji technically could react to Rock Lee with his weights off. Because he's already fought Rock Lee with his weights off. So he's able to react to that. He's fine. But Rock Lee used the fifth gate that he needed that to fight Neji. So it's like, I need this level of power in order to fight someone like Neji. It's like, wait, you need to literally break your body just to fight Neji? You save that to fight Neji? That goes to show how much stronger Neji was. But because Naruto beat him, we really don't understand how much stronger Neji was. But that's Naruto for you. It's like a strategy. It's like a strategy-based anime at the time. Because it's not, I have more chakra, I win. It's always incorporating some level of hacks and strategies. And that's what made Naruto unique, because Naruto was one of the first series out there to really emphasize that for strategic battles. That and Hunter x Hunter too. Both of those series were known in the late 90s and, of course, early 2000s to kind of implement that idea for most shonen cinema that we see. Hey, instead of just like cool attack that destroys enemy, we're like coming up with like entire strategies when there's a gap power and difference. This character's 10 times stronger than me. I have these set of moves that can help me get around that. This character has these techniques. I have these that can get around that. It's why like someone like Guy Sensei probably hits harder than Itachi does in taijutsu. I'm giving an example. Guy Sensei can hit harder than Itachi in raw taijutsu, like raw power. But Itachi has techniques and chakra amplifications that can make him hit as hard as Guy. But like physicality, is he as strong as Guy? Probably not. I'm just giving an example. That's kind of how Naruto goes about its formula. It's like a Hunter x Hunter. Oh, he has more nen. That doesn't really mean anything. Like more nen can either mean you have higher AP output or you just have more stamina. Because if you don't know how to use it, depending on how you use it, that doesn't really tell us the outcome. Naruto was kind of the same way, So that's why I'm always like trying to be more analytical. This is why the title says it. Details matter. Effort matters. So that's why. So yeah, I don't believe the Ninetales is a planet destroyer like some think. Surface wiping plus and above is more grounded with the consistency. Thor's hammer, that is kind of true. But when we see Toneri cut the moon, and then we know that Toneri is weaker than the Ninetales, possibly, you kind of gotta accept that Naruto is a planet-level threat. Because Toneri's feat backs that up. Sasuke casually destroying a continental destructing meteor easily kind of supports the idea that they are in those ranges. Now, as far as saying they can fight somebody on the caliber of, like, Ginyu Force, heck no. Like, I get that Naruto is trying to become more innovative with his meta, but this is why most people aren't putting Bleach, aren't putting Naruto at those upper tiers. Because they refuse to showcase a feat. Dragon Ball isn't all statements, we see feats. Naruto and Boruto and Bleach are full of feats, but a lot of the time, there are author intent, but a lot of the time, most of it is like wordplay. What degree are we saying? This is why even when I had a conversation with Stride, we'll talk about Bleach has a universal meta, but the way they're incorporating it may not necessarily be universal. It's like the same thing I said with Fairy Tail. Natsu has hacks that burns through space and time, but Natsu himself isn't 5D. He's not going to destroy an infinite number of inaccessible fourth dimensional super multiversal bodies. No, Natsu's not doing that. In fact, he's not even destroying his own universe. When you find out the context of the story, it's like, oh, so Lucy's ancestor had a piece of time that was the in-between, it had no space and no time. It was a void. So basically like kind of like a ball of Hakai almost. And she was going to use that to take out Acnologia. But Acnologia, having time and space hacks, was able to tank that. Now, is he able to tank it on an infinite level? Probably not. He only ate something the size of a tangerine. So we can't assume he automatically has infinite dimensional range without really putting it into question. And this is time we crack down on, and the reason I'm doing this stream is because we really gotta crack down on some of these analytical parts. That's why learning how to calc is important. Learning how to study the narrative is important. Learning how to calc and interpret feats based on the consistency of the narrative is important. Because in a debate, it's very easy for it takes a lot of reaching to assume certain things about characters. That's why with Dragon Ball, you seen my article, you seen my blog. I had to pull out so many goddamn pieces of evidence to prove Dragon Ball can do this, and I had to look for so many feats of consistency that they can do this. Roz had to do the same thing with KOF or SNK, because if you just took a statement from SNK Samurai Showdown, it's like, okay, is that it? But now you have KOF 15. And it's like supporting what was already being speculated. Then you see later feats. So again, we gotta crack down on these other shonen and stop trying to put Bleach and Naruto on these universal levels when they're not really insinuating enough evidence for us to believe they're talking about it that way. I've said this before. When we look at Byakuran and Hitman Reborn, he could destroy parallel worlds, but he's not actually doing it through actual AP. He's doing it differently. So he can actually delete parallel worlds through utilizing quantum jumping and jumping through and causing a cause and effect. But he himself is not saying, boom, and the whole parallel world blows up. So because of that, that's why we have to really ask, how is this universal feat happening? How does it get interpreted? What are they using? What is the main focal point? Does it meet up? And is it an outlier or is it like a highlight? Because just because a character has a highlight feat doesn't mean it's an outlier. That just means that's them going all out. But we still have to ask the question. Okay, does it make sense for Boruto to hit universal based on what we're seeing? Probably not. There's not a lot of consistencies where we could say it's accurate to say that. Maybe if we get a data book or more information, I think we can. But for now, just like with One Punch Man, for now, we gotta give them credit where their efforts put them at. We can't just give them extra credit
Dragon Ball, you have all these statements you got to pull up. KOF, you got all these statements you got to pull up. Warhammer, you know how many statements Harvado had to pull up out of his behind. You know how many scans Harvado had to research for Yu-Gi-Oh! To kind of put them on the map in consistency with the narrative of that. It kind of gives you the idea. Because like Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not just like, oh, well, this monster has extra dimensional hacks. No, it's like, nah, straight up, bro. They can like start messing with these worlds. So that's where I'm coming from. So I hope everyone understands I'm not attacking anyone who's a fan of Naruto, Bleach, etc. Because I also am. But I am just going to say, it's time we crack down on this. You want to say Naruto's universal? Provide me evidence. Don't assume. Don't give me statements alone. Show me feats in context that can insinuate the interpretation that Kishimoto intended for us. Why does author intent matter in the versus battle? Because the author wasn't intending them to be this fast. The reason author intents matter is because it's more credible for the character's assessment. If an author wasn't intending for a character to be universal, what was their intention? And now we got to analyze that feat so we can have an accurate representation. The author of Hitman Reborn wasn't intending to make Byakuran some Marvel level threat where he could destroy parallel worlds on an infinite spectrum or hundreds of parallel worlds. But like, no, because then that would make Tsunayoshi insane. But is it true? Then you got to ask yourself, does it make sense? And then you realize, okay, they wasn't intending for him to just blow them up. So how did he do it? Then we start analyzing the feat. It's like why we say Yuha, we don't just say, Yuha talks about countless worlds. But does that mean Yuha is just 5D now? Or infinite 4D? Like, no. We don't assume that. We have to say, okay, well, how is he manipulating fate? Is he pulling probabilities from somewhere else through a loophole? Because remember, one thing people got to remember about the tiering list. The tiering list is about you can create, affect, or destroy. And affecting means it's on a completely different level because affecting could just be more hacks. So it's important to understand that because every versus battle follows that. AP or attack potency is completely different from just a character manipulating something that causes a chain reaction to destroy it. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Macadamia with Mario. Thank you, Macadamia, you as well. W. So that's where I'm going to stop at right now with this. We can pick up with this if people want a part 2 of this where effort matters. You guys want a part 2 of effort matters. You can come in and discuss your opinions. Definitely will try to read them. Just remember, if you want me to read a comment, just make sure you at me. I'm mostly trying to do these so I can kind of control the pace and timing of the stream. That's the only reason why I couldn't have my buddy Raj join me this time around. But just understand that this is what we're trying to start doing now. We're trying to do more streams, trying to have a little bit more fun, but we're also just trying to like start informing people more. It's important. Details matter. You have to sit down, look at the feet. Why does the feet matter? It's like, I'm sorry, Roz. It's like, why does the feat matter? What was the feat? The question is, what was the feat? When did it happen? What were the conditions? Why did it happen? What significance is it to the narrative? Is it consistent? And what's the ultimate goal? Goku and Beerus punching the universe. Do we just say chain reaction and leave it? Probably. But the fact that the Elder Kai, Whis, the narrator, Supreme Kai, had to constantly keep bringing it in our damn faces 7 times that they could destroy the universe, I think that's enough evidence to kind of support the notion, yeah, they're universal. And then when we see Goku Black doing his taunts, it's like, yeah, they probably were universal. You see Buhan threaten to destroy the universe, and then Daizenshu reaffirms that? Yeah, probably universal. We see the Daikaio planet with another planet next to it, stated to be the size of the universe of heaven, but Kid Buu can destroy a multi-galactic sized planet with a casual blast? Yeah, probably they were being accurate. So when you start looking at it from that perspective and looking at all these feats, Buhan, Kid Buu, Frieza blowing up a galaxy and Goku could take out 10... Frieza blew up a galaxy in his 50%. And then Goku can block those same attacks with his finger. Even with 10 times, Even though Frieza was 10 times stronger, Goku could still block that with his fingertips. No difficulty against Trunks, and Trunks was still holding back. And then Goku came back from Yardra, and he still needed to train for the androids. And then you have Imperfect Cell, then Semi-Perfect Cell, who was stated to be on a different dimension in power, like a different level, according to El Legendario manga, not literal. And then you got Perfect Cell, who Vegeta says is 1,000 times stronger than Goku. Is that a coincidence? Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's accurate, maybe it's hyperbole. But then again, when you look at how easily Cell Juniors was taking them on, maybe Cell wasn't lying. Because when Cell powered up to full power, Goku and everyone was shocked. They didn't know he was hiding that much power. So then when you look at it from that perspective, but look at all the consistencies. Blowing up planets, blowing up dimensions, moving through dimensions, moving through planets, cracking dimensions, moving forward in time. All of that. Kefla. I can destroy your universe with one punch. Gogeta and Broly, breaking through dimensions. Jiren and Goku, shaking the world of Void. Toppo, warping the world of Void. Zamasu becoming one with the universe. Like, look at all the feats. So when Dragon Ball is stated to be at these complex, they're actually doing it. These not just statements. Midaka is statements, right? And for the most part, I was gonna say SNK is also statements. Roz might have something he can provide for me on that, but for the most part that we know of, like, again, it's statements. A lot of animes are statements. Daizere, statements. What's it called? Umineko, statements. Yogiri, well, no, they actually do it. They pull off the feats in the novel. So Yogiri gets a pass. Yogiri's a G. Sinbad actually does it. Sinbad actually recreates reality. So you get like a lot of stuff. Thanks, Roz. Roz, post, give like an example feat. You don't gotta post it, just like give an example feat, because I'm about to end the stream soon. But that's what we're talking about. So some characters, a lot of fictions have statements, but they don't have feats. Like Yusuke actually has feats that can somewhat back up his claim. Senjumaru actually shakes the 3 realms. So the Bleach anime might actually hit low multiversal. But we don't know yet, because to what context? Yogiri actually shook. Yogiri actually scales above people who were casually destroying universes and running outside of universes, like immeasurable speed. In the novel, they were moving universe to universe to universe to universe to universe, casually, and destroying them like they're party. Like they look. This is how Yogiri was treating the universe. Not Yogiri, but I forgot what their name was. They were treating the universes like this. Verse tearing through dimensions, membranes, and thank you. Exactly. So SNK, sorry, my mistake. I take it back. SNK wasn't doing that, but yeah, bro. Now let me see if I can find one, bro. I can't find, like, come on. I don't know. Type in something. I gotta find something. Like, dang, can we just get a video of somebody popping balloons? Whatever, we'll use this. Yeah, this is literally, what was that fight with Yogiri and Homeboy? When they were fighting, they were treating universes like this. I should just do like an edit and put Yogiri's face on here and the other person. And the thing is, Yogiri is supposed to be transcended beyond those beings who were casually destroying, who were at a complex multiversal level. So yeah, clearly there's some effort put in. They were literally running universe to universe to universe to universe until they ran out. They ran across infinite universes. That's infinite immeasurable speed. That is infinite immeasurable speed. That's a tier higher than normal immeasurable speed. Because the regular measurable speed isn't even like calculable. Then that's infinite speed. This is like infinite immeasurable speed. And Yogiri scales to that. Beyond that. So it's like he has infinite, what is it, like, I guess, complex immeasurable speed? So Yogiri got like a complex immeasurable speed. But like, again, details matter. Let's talk about another detail. So although Goku has the raw power to punch, in my opinion, punch Yogiri into the living daylights out of him one shot in base form, Yogiri has an advantage. Yogiri can control reality.
So if Yogiri says, I'm going to get rid of the concept of oxygen, Goku's going to struggle badly. So if Yogiri is aware of that, oh, you need oxygen. And Goku loses. And it's like, god dang, Goku has the power to just one-shot this guy. But Yogiri could just say, nah, no oxygen allowed. Yogiri constantly can move at immeasurable speeds, I guess, whatever. So Goku has to accelerate. So Goku has to start powered up. When Goku moved outside of Hit's timeline, or was an Ultra Instinct, or was pulling off crazy feats like that, he has to power up into it. He's not casually already in that state. Can he react to it with Ultra Instinct? Yes. Yes, he can. But is he automatically going to be in Ultra Instinct state? Probably not. So in character, with a casual encounter and conditional rules, if Yogiri knows what Goku's weaknesses are and isn't playing around, he can win almost every time. And it's not a matter of that Goku's weaker than Yogiri. It's that a matter of Yogiri has the tools needed to beat Goku. That's why I was saying before, what makes Featherine beat Goku in some cases, it's not that she outpowers him. It's that she could get rid of tools that Goku needs that he relies on. Unless, of course, we're just going to go with this feat where, unless we're going to take this feat. I mean, we could always use this, where Goku went to the moon. There's no oxygen up there, so you could say Goku could breathe in space. And when Goku was fighting Beerus, they technically were not anywhere near the oxygen. So, oh, there was in the stratosphere. I guess that was Toriyama's excuse to give Goku that weakness, but in reality, that's not actually his weakness. So, yeah. I mean, because after all, Goku did survive in no space-time with Zeno, where there was no space and no time. So again, it depends. Depends on how you want to interpret it. That's just giving you guys very basic examples, but this is why effort matters. A question about, okay, Natsuverse also statements with a bunch of magic system hacks. No physical tier powers like Dragon Ball. It's conceptual belief. The system is restrained to one planet's boundaries. Correct. But they still are very powerful. Iori burning versus hands that tore through said membrane. Yeah, Iori is banned. Iori and Ash are banned. I disallow broken character. Iori and Ash are banned. They're broken. Let's see. Oh man. Yo, let's pull these feats up. Look at that, guys. Check that out. That's raw. So it was like another creature outside of the universe. And this is like a hyperversal being. I'm not making this up. It is a hyperversal being. So, because there are 11 dimensional membranes and it controls and is beyond all of them. This is not no wank. This is not fanboying. This is, this is the reality. Okay? For some stupid reason, they decided to let him just say, yeah, you know what? I just feel like yelling and burning them. And Geese beating this thing is consistent. So what makes this stupid and why Iori is banned is this guy doesn't even fight him. He just burns through a being with hyperversal durability. We're talking about a hyperversal durability. For those who don't know, let me give you a small example using art before I go, because we about to end the stream. We got 7 minutes. Let's use some good old art. Okay. Here we go. Hi, I'm Atari, and we're going to talk about why Iori is so stupidly broken. So, let's say this is Verse's hand. Okay, cool. We got his hand, and you might be wondering, okay, his hand can crush dimensional membranes on an 11th dimensional level. But he not only does that, he has complete control over the entire verse. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, tell me, how does a 12th dimension work? So let's say the universe, it's infinite. It's very big in size. Here's the universe. It is infinite in size. It has 3 spatial dimensions. Cool. That's awesome. So, what happens when it propels forward in time? We get boop, 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 boop. As you guys can see, we get a tesseract. Cool. So propels forward in time. This means it's a 4th dimension. No structure, because it has space and time. So we'll use this outer shell to represent space-time, the 4D plane, that allows it to propel forward in time. Now, here's the problem that people forget. This is the universe 1 second ago. This is the universe 0.9 seconds ago. But how many 0.9s or uncountable infinities can I break the universe down? There's an uncountable infinity. So this is why 4D is typically infinitely greater than 3D. But for a 5th dimensional realm, what if we have, let's say this is a 5th dimensional bubble, and inside this bubble, we have an infinite number of these worlds. Yeah, cool, right? An infinite number. Not a finite, not a million, not a billion, not a trillion, not a quadrillion, not a quintillion, not a sextillion, not a septillion, not an octillion, not a nonillion, not a dexillion, not a uncillion, not a duodecillion, not a tredecillion, not quadrodecillion, not quintusillion, not sextodecillion, not septodecillion, not octodecillion, not nondildecillion, not vengentillion, vengenundetillion, unvengentillion, duodvengentillion, tredvengentillion, quadrodvengentillion. No! Infinite! That is 5D, containing an infinite number of these bad babies in there that have an infinite number of uncountable infinity 3-dimensional spaces in it.
That's 5D.
Guess what? You know what's even worse? You know what's worse about all of this? Guys, look, pay attention. If you had these 5D realms, and you had an infinite number of these white-looking bubble things that are all 5D. These are these. We have an infinite, crazy number of them. All right, whatever. All right, cool. You get the point. So here, I'll give you a better example of that. Let me show you. You have an infinite number of them. All right, cool. Boom. Watch this. Check this out. Look how stupid this is. So all these, look. You have an infinite number of these 5D worlds, all in this like big 6-dimensional space. All right. This contains not a dual decillion. Like, you get the point. It contains an infinite number of these. It doesn't matter how you feel. It's infinite. It's an infinite number of these. That means no matter how much you try to divide this number, it cannot break. There's infinite. Okay? Understand that in your goddamn head, there's infinite. And infinite junctions, meaning infinite connections. Okay. So even with all of that, the list goes all the way on to 7D, 8D, 9D, 10D, 11D. We got dimensional membranes. Now, depending on how you go about those membranes, those can be smaller than the subatomic. So the way the universe can be broken down on a universal structure is crazy. And this baboon is 12D. Yay! And guess what? Eeyore is so stupidly broken that he just burns him. So that's why Eeyore is banned. Eeyore is banned. Okay, now you guys get the picture. That is so astronomically strong. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's so stupidly strong. Let me tell you this. Let me give you another example. What I'm talking about. If you took Eeyore, right? If you took Eeyore at max power, right? Not even. If you take Eeyore and you let him fight Yuha. Let's wank Yuha to like 5D. Even if you reduced Eeyore's power by infinity, if you said, Eeyore, I'm reducing your power by infinity, he would still whoop the living crap out of Yuha without even moving. he would stand there and look him in the eye with infinitely less power and look at him, and Yuha would literally be evaporated from existence and would be so terrified from his fear hacks that he would just quit and say, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to fight you. Iori would literally suffocate him from his mere astral presence, which he did before, without even trying. His mere fear hacks would literally, that level, would burn the very concept of his soul, because he has astral. He burns souls. He's burnt them. Remember, Verse is a spiritual metaphysical being as well. Okay, don't get it twisted. He could burn souls. So Iori would not just burn your physical body, but he would burn your spatial body and your freaking soul. Get that through your head to see how stupidly broken that is and why he is banned. That means if I said, Iori, let me reduce your power by infinity. Okay, that just makes me 11th dimensional. Can I do it by Aleph 1, going a higher divinity? Yeah, that makes me 10. Aleph 2? Sure. Now I'm 9. Aleph 3? Okay, I'm 8. Aleph 4? I'm 7. Aleph 5? I'm 6. God dang, bro. Aleph 6? Yeah, you could do that. So I have to use not Aleph Null, not Aleph 1, not Aleph 2, not Aleph 3,
Not Aleph 4, not Aleph 5.
but Aleph 6. Aleph 6. In order to just get Iori to scale to a wanked Yuha at 5D. And guess what? Iori probably would still win. Just in raw combat in CQC. Because of the Yagami style. And his hacks. That burn through time, souls, and much more. The fact is, I have to lessen this guy's power by more than 6 Aleph Null differences and hierarchies just to get this baboon to be anywhere near Yuha wanked level. That is so stupid. It's just so utterly stupid. Iori is banned. Now, I'm going to give Roz 5 minutes to cook before we end the stream. Give me a minute. All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No. Give me a minute. Hold on. I gotta let you cook, but first, I gotta say, that was the greatest show of all time. No, I'm playing. Go ahead, cook.
Okay. Now I gotta cook on this. I gotta cook. I'm not even an Iori stand, but I gotta cook. Y'all don't understand. Let me just make this clear. Y'all don't understand because Atari did not show the first scan that I sent to our DMs, where it literally shows Verse tearing through membranes. But no, let me make this clear. Iori is so strong, right? His mental psyche, his psyche alone can warp time and space around you and literally crush you, right? So when Atari's talking about how he can literally just like fear hacks you to death, that is not a lie. His mental psyche alone can literally warp time and space and make it collapse on you.
Wait, nigga, I didn't see this scan before.
Before, you know. Hold
on. Before you finish, the mist of the seamless, endless expanse of darkness appears in cracks of a deep fissure. It grows with frightening speed. The gap in the middle winders with a low groan, and beyond shines a universe of innumerable blinking lights. Though the sight resembles a galaxy, there's something altogether otherworldly about it. The space through the gap feels so close as to be separated by the thinness of membranes, but as at the same time, like it is an eternity away, the very moment the trio notice a presence from beyond countless hands suddenly erupt from the cosmic crevice. A torrent of hands flood into the darkness, swallowing up 3 who had been drifting in the empty space. Something cracked and rumbled in. Bro, you can't tell. That's stupid. No, he's banned, Roz.
Yes, and let me remind you, Atari didn't show the full scans, right? He only showed like Iori burning one hand. No, the full scans show the same countless amount of hands trying to tear apart Iori's soul, right? And Iori burned away all those hands and destroyed them, along with the hand that was controlling him from the outside. Which means that Iori can burn away hyperversal beings that are actively trying to control him, right? Hyperversal beings can't control him. And he's not even the strongest character. Ash can beat him. Shune is the strongest protagonist in all of SNK. Not
No,
just KOF, but all of SNK.
I got no. You can't. Because last
Like-
time, no. Because no. And
Yeah.
look at this. Look at this.
Let me tell y'all. I gotta. Let me tell y'all. Y'all remember Atari's stream last time where he announced Goku as the strongest in Shonen? The thing that Atari didn't realize is that SNK is working with Shueisha to
Yes.
bring KOF more to Shonen manga.
I didn't know.
So right now, Shune and every KOF character right now is a Shonen Jump character effectively, which includes Iori.
Oh my goodness, bro.
And these are legit feats. And Shune fought the god of the series, of all of SNK. He fought the god and sealed away the literal avatar of the god of the overall verse of every game SNK has ever released.
This is you already almost made it in Smash Macadamia, but the thing is, what people are forgetting is here's the problem. Versus Battle Wiki says he's city level. I still don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Now here's the thing. As soon as Iori, oh my, you know what? I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it.
Ah, say it. Say it.
As
Say
soon
it. Say it with your chest.
if Iori fought any of these baboons, these like light novel baboons, he would literally, oh my goodness. Like, look, I'm not knocking Yogiri. I'm not knocking Feathering. I'm not knocking Masadaverse. But my thing is, I've said it over and over again, they're all talk. They have action. I can't say in no action, but they all talk. And most people who scale them don't even know how to truly dimensional tier. And if they do, I'm like, lay out the cosmology for me. Because I did it with Dragon Ball and I have all the evidence. SNK, we're not even done with the Roz didn't even finish with cosmology because there's too much crap. Because you got all of the stuff from Metal Slug that already has literal string theory and membranes and actual relativity, which is even more broken. And then you got all the stuff from KOF, and then you got other stuff from the other games. Like, no. It's
No,
too
like,
much.
y'all don't understand just how big. Like, KOF alone, right? Because what Versus Battle seems to think is that Verse is only tied to KOF. He is not. Verse is tied to the entirety of SNK, the game company. He is tied to the entirety of the company's game releases. He has affected the Samurai Showdown universe. He's affected the Metal Slug universe, which are all separate from KOF, mind you.
Which
Keep in
is-
mind, Nagaru had to travel beyond time and space
Yeah.
just to go to the KOF universe to chase Verse.
And there's
Beyond time and space.
Yup. And don't forget that's Samurai Showdown. That's not even talking about the other game with Neo Dio.
Yeah, that World Heroes,
Yes.
where you have a guy who can weigh literally infinity, or the whole point where the game is really all about time travel and going through other dimensions and stuff like that. Yeah, no, let's not include that. Or a mobile game that no one knows about. Atari, this is going to be your first time hearing about it, called Kimiwa Hero, that was released back in 2016 and ended service, I think, around 2019. That game, is an action RPG for mobile. And essentially, it's also large. It is a mobile game where apparently one character named Dark Matter Eternal became so powerful that he transcended time and space, his power transcended time and space, and his mere existence affected the future so much that literally all the possibilities they said was like a dense fog. And if you don't know how dense a fog is, it looks like it goes on infinitely if you were to look up like a heavy fog. So essentially, they're saying that one character could change his entire verse's infinite possibilities, essentially. And not only that, he was creating space-time tears that were equal to that of verses that could allow characters from other universes, other SNK titles, to come into that series. Because it is canon to that series that Kyo, Orochi, Nakaru, Hamaru all went into their verse due to verse tearing open time-space tears that allowed them to come through. And his power was equal to that, essentially. This is all about the greater SK cosmology. This just isn't KOF. These are all beings that exist, and most of them are human.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's
So
insane.
no.
And then I just want to say, like, real quick, say it 3 times. I respect your opinion as well. And like you said, I'm not about making fun of people at all on my streams. We don't believe in that. We believe everyone has the right to have their opinion and interpretation. We could challenge the argument, and ultimately, but we're gonna, and we might make jokes about it just to kind of have a laugh at the end of the day. So you got to have a little bit of a thick skin. But it's not where we're going to say you're an idiot for thinking that. No, not at all. We just say, when we say like versus Battle of Baboons, we're saying it as like a joke, as in like who's running this, because they're not like actually functioning logically, because they're kind of going against logic. But it's not insulting their personal intelligence. I wouldn't mind having, treating 90% of these guys out to, a dinner to eat, because that's just how I am. Except certain people that aren't really nice, that don't deserve it. But ultimately, just to let you know, I get what you're saying. High-end feathering is extremely powerful. But again, high-end interpretation still needs to be reasonable. High-end interpretation just really assumes if we go with the highest level of assertion made. But that doesn't mean... High-end levels of assertion doesn't mean like, oh, Dragon Ball follows Sun Wukong Journey of the West, so that's true Nirvana. Like, no, that's not high-end. That's more so just... That's just outright wank, because you're just making unreasonable assertions. If the assertion is,
Exactly.
Roz, like a high end is like if I said, Roz, is it safe to say the dimension of lights transcends the macrocosm? We could probably, like, that's fair. That's like a high end. It's like, okay, so maybe that's 7D or something like that. Even though I don't have it there, I have it at 60 plus. But high end, we can say, yeah, maybe it is higher. High end other stuff, it's like, could the space between the afterlife and the macrocosm itself be 70 instead? Yeah, that's a high end. It's reasonable if you make the assertion that the space between universes is always greater in order to contain separate infinities and keep them separated. But otherwise, no, you can't just jump in to like say that, because it has to be reasonable. It's can't.
You know how many high-end characters I can just outright say slam other fictions? There are so many high-end characters that I know of, Atari knows of, that we haven't even brought up in this stream at this rate. That Atari hasn't brought up in the stream. We know so many high-end characters that we could use that would absolutely slam characters like Feather, and that would slam, probably some Xenoverse characters more than likely, for all we know. There are so many high-end characters that we could use, but we don't, because we want to go with as conservative as a scale as we possibly can. We want to make sure we scale fairly and semi-objectively, because again, scaling is bound to change. If the author is still continuing the series, it is bound to change. The author can completely change something, and you have to rework your entire scale effectively.
Right.
So that is
exactly
like high end is just an easy way out effectively. If once your characters win, that's how I look at it.
Like even Roz remembers it, because I made an amino. I never Roz knows I made an amino on this. I said a high end Naruto. I think I had high end Naruto at like multi solar system plus or something like that.
Yeah, you did.
And then I had a high. I actually, you can ask Roz. I actually said a high end Momoshiki was galaxy level, because he created a dimension that has a red nebula, which is an implication of likely a galaxy existing. Or like, I think, did I say galaxy? Or I said high multi-cluster solar system, something like that, right?
I think you said galaxy. That was years ago, like 2017 or
Right.
2018, but I think it was galaxy.
And as a high end, that's not bad as an assertion, because, I mean, he's the same guy who made Samurai 8. And Roz had informed me before that characters of the caliber of Boruto, really, Boruto's basically the dragon. It's basically Naruto Super. Like the power gap just gets so stupid. It's dumb. It's hilarious, actually. That's why, like, even I'm like,
it jumps.
Yeah, it's like, dang, I don't even think Gear 5th Luffy can fight Momoshiki because of how stupid they're getting. Because they're like, And then it's like, oh, but like I thought Kurama was only playing. Like, yeah, he's way higher than that. That's just what the data book said. But the way Boruto's going about it, they're treating Kurama like he's Beerus. Like, oh, I thought he was only this strong. It's like, nope, he's a moving goalpost. Now Kurama's like star level plus. It's crazy. And
again, that's why I was like, let me in with the Naruto portion earlier. I was like, yo, let me cook. I said, I know Naruto. I know scaling for Naruto.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but you know, Roz, you know I was just making an example out of it to kind of like give people the idea like why effort matters, like why we shouldn't sit here and say like because you know those Twitter posts, they'll say Naruto absolutely like finger flicks Gear 5 Luffy. I'm like, okay, finger flick is a little crazy. It got to be a little more reasonable than that. Like if you're highballing Naruto Baryon mode, yeah, sure, but like finger flick, what's his AP you have him at? It's like star level. Okay, then you can finger flick him. But if it's like you have his AP at like a very conservative like planet level plus, then it's like, yeah, he's not gonna finger flick Luffy. That's for sure. You're not finger flicking Luffy at that level of power. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But anyway, we are going to conclude from here. Yes, Kishimoto is not 100% consistent. Naruto is a little bit all over the place at times. Like Ra said, it jumps. Momoshiki is likely to grow in power with Boruto only to increase it. Yes, I agree. But until it's like One Punch Man. Just let it rock. More feats. My suggestion, gather all the feats that support your assessment. Let it rock. That's all you got to do. That's what makes it easy to follow. Because when I do my Dragon Ball posts, when Ross talks about KOF, it's very easy to follow. Most shows, I gotta jump all over the place to figure out what the hell is going on. Like with Bleach, even with Bleach, I gotta jump all over the place. Like, okay, so do they scale this or not? Because this feat happened and this happened, but then they do this. Why is everyone scared of a meteorite? But we're talking about Grimmy opening up space with galaxies and shattering planets in his head in the manga. What's going on? Kubo, talk to me. Maybe Kubo was like, nah, I just thought it would be cool if they broke a meteor. That's all. Which probably is true. But alright guys, that's going to be it for today. This has been Atari HMB, and I'm going to be signing off for today. Roz, thanks again for joining us. We appreciate that.
No problem.
All right.
For a second.
All right, everyone. So remember, you guys take care, and Iori is banned. Peace.
Later.